Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Blood and Sand. We are back. It's been about a month since our last escapade out into the wonderful world of Del and I, and our party has been working in the Forest of Old Fortune. Who would like to take up the point of describing what happened in the last episode?
I can.
Sure.
Since nobody else seems to be volunteering.
I don't
Well,
know that.
we started our work for the druid to help him cleanse his forest. He tagged along. We fought some nasty ichor people. Gave off nasty juice. I don't even know what you'd call that.
Ichor, I
nasty
suppose.
juice. Yeah,
Remnant.
ichor. I'm pretty sure it was the week before we met one of my fathers, but he was there guarding the place while we went off, taking the fight to them with our druid in tow. We did pretty well, especially thanks to our friend's laser sword. Totally not a lightsaber.
It's a Sunblade.
Yes, a sunblade.
You mean Lionel?
Although we did come a bit close to our druid getting corrupted by the black ichor stuff, but we fortunately managed to purge him of it. And we came back, and there was much rejoicing. I got rewarded with this cool horn that calls for aid from the forest, and yeah, we were just about to head off to the arena. I said my goodbyes to one of my fathers, and that was about it.
Yep. Last living father. You currently, I believe, have not yet found yourselves to rest, but you can sleep here for the evening.
Yes.
Let's do that.
I think a couple of people would like that.
I mean, I kind of already put all my stuff back in because I figured we would take a long rest.
I thought we
Okay.
finished the last one saying, and we rest.
I'm sure we did, but whatever.
We'll say that this is you now going to rest.
Also, I gotta say real quick, Nemo, your tribe was very progressive to have same-sex fathers and everything.
I know, right? Bravo.
I mean, impressive, you know, for Middle Ages and all that. Yeah.
It's my world. Whatever the fuck I want goes in.
That's what I mean.
Progressive? Grunt wouldn't even understand how
Okay,
so.
let's
because-
finish this line of conversation because
Yep.
it's just going to go
Yeah,
in circles
I'm stopping
for a
that
while.
before you guys start doing that.
It's just going to go in circles for a while.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Circles that we've already crossed through many a time.
Anyway, now I'm off to go avenge my would-be wife.
Mm-hmm. So, as you guys go to Schlep, I have been given permission to do something, so, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If they holler, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny. Alistair Dartwood, roll a d6.
Dun, dun, dun.
I did not give consent to anything, ever.
Yeah, I mean,
D6. First roll of the night.
The 4. We don't know what that means.
Okay. As you all find yourselves to sleep, you
sleep.
rest for the evening. Excuse me, I'm taking Nemo to DM Whispers.
Ooh.
Sorry, Nemo, I killed you.
bye.
Methinks maybe somebody is having some sort of premonition.
Oh, I wanted a premonition.
Because I think the thing he got permission for is that when our group with Curls have long rest, she makes us roll a d4, and which each number corresponds to a player, and that player gets a dream. I've never had one, and
You can't have one.
no, in Curls' campaign.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah.
You don't sleep.
Yeah, I don't sleep.
You meditate. You have a
I thought it was
vision.
Nemo was gonna have Alistair as a husband.
Yeah, that-
I would be highly jealous.
Yeah. At a guess, the d6 is probably everybody but me, including Sylar and Nemo's father.
no, I mean, 6 is our party.
No, our party's only 5.
Well, technically, with Nemo's dad here, it's 6.
But like we said, Del can't sleep.
You can still have a vision.
Welcome back.
So you all wake yourselves up to the morning.
Okay, are we all fit and good to go?
Grunt wakes with a start and basically just swings at the nearest thing. I don't know what the nearest thing is, but she swings at it.
Probably a
Hooray.
tree.
Probably some sort of tree or rock that is more or less
Probably your dad.
cracked.
Probably.
It's a rock.
Same
That
difference.
counts as rock, yeah. Make a, you want to make an attack roll, just roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
Let's see, we're
But is it a
heading
rock lobster?
towards Distune. Is there anything anything special I should get for us going?
What do you mean, anything you should get? We're in the middle of a wood.
Spells.
Oh.
Come on, I'm
I mean,
clear.
we're about. Today is the day we try and go to Distone, isn't it?
Well, you don't get spells, you prepare spells.
Well, that's what I mean.
Grunt, we'll just say that you did that with your fist.
It was just easy to
So-
roll that.
Yeah, it was easier, that's fair. You wake up to a start and you just punch a nearby rock, which has a crack and an actual fracture in it that breaks inward, and you feel your middle knuckle dislocate back as you do, and you just pause with it there, and the pain distracts you in that moment.
I'm just sitting there breathing heavily.
Do you want to take this one, Buckley, or shall I?
I'm sitting there preparing spells.
Okay, that's an easy.
Detect
easy
good
get
and
out there.
evil might be useful.
Okay, yeah.
Does have
I'll
material
trans-
cost though.
I'm just sort of hidden.
I don't
behind
count
my
material
chair.
costs unless it's
Sort of-
Revivify.
Okay.
I'm just sort of crouched down there. with
Being
my
being
hair
able to
covering my face.
detect fiends might be useful.
You alright there,
Okay.
Grunt? I've not known you to punch rocks in the morning.
Yeah, normally you have breakfast first.
That's true.
Then you punch.
Shimmer, get breakfast on the cook.
Roger.
Roger.
He's already over by a stove that's like, not a stove, but the
I mean, I could.
No, actually, a
Bit
stove.
of
He
a
has
fire.
somehow produced a stove and a frying pan from somewhere.
Shimmer's easy bake oven.
See, what I had was I had Buckley just make one out of a couple of like minerals I saw lying about.
Yeah, I happen to have some iron.
You just pulled out money and you had him change the money into it with the just
Yeah.
went bang. Like it was just a pile of gold. He hit it and it became a stove.
I'm going to
Anyway.
attempt to make friends with party members now and bond. So I'm going to go over to Grunt.
Family members of mine.
Oh, it's only
feel like
taken
I
us.
should get
It's
to know
only
my
taken
crew.
us 4 years.
Not true, not true. I tried this once before, then someone destroyed my guild hall. That shit happens. But anyway, I go over to Grunt. Not Salter.
She's still just sort of crouched there with the fist in the stone, and you notice she's shoving her dislocated fist even further into the stone.
This is less actually performing any other cracks or things. It's more just white pain for you, Grunt.
I'm just going to put my hand on her shoulder and just say, the expression "you can't get blood from a stone" does stand here.
She pulls her head back so her hair actually gets away from her face, and she's got this massive smile on her face, almost manic.
Oh, good. So you're okay. That's fine. That's number one sorted.
I'm
Then
gonna just
you are
take
okay.
a step back.
Bad dream.
She stands up and just grabs you from around the waist and spins you around, and then puts you back down on the ground again.
So,
Personal
Fortunately, I've not
space.
had breakfast, so I don't vomit.
so I was right.
She relocates her knuckles just by force,
Spin like that.
And
I've done
yeah.
that too many times.
and she just seems oddly happy, ecstatically.
I'm guessing you're happy because your dad's back.
She shakes her head and she just pulls out the javelin and sort of caresses it.
Oh, okay. Good dream, then.
She blushes a little and nods.
You know, your dad did say yesterday it is okay to talk.
Yeah,
She-
come on,
she-
Grant, talk.
That way we
She-
don't have to have any graphic
She
pictures.
she takes out the notebook and just says she had a dream of hell trying to kill her.
Oh.
And wait,
Oh, please no. Please. We don't need another sentient object. Please, God, no.
I feel like we should start drawing out censored stickers to put on our artwork.
I mean, very.
Hell the person, and she was
Okay,
just she
Yeah.
notes that she's just so proud that such fire still reigns in her loved one even after death.
Not.
So what's for breakfast, Shimmer, then? We got eggs, whatnot, bacon, anything like that? What have we packed
I
rations-wise?
appreciate that you have a different culture to us, but I think the majority of us would agree that if you had a dream of somebody killing you, that would be seen as a bad thing, not a good thing.
She sort of rocks her head backwards and forwards in the sort of, yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It was just good to see her again.
I require you to put your camera on to see what that face looks like.
As you're saying this, Damara, of like this, I know your culture is their own thing. There's just nerd behind her, just going.
Stoop down low like that with his shoulders in line with his forehead. You could balance tableware on that shoulder pad.
You could. You could balance the table on that shoulder line.
Need to remember what the hell I'm actually capable of anymore.
But yeah, Grunt tries to explain further by saying that she knows she's passed, but it was just fighting with her again would be quite the blessing, even if it was at the risk of her own life, and even if hell does hate her for what she's done. But it was just so good to see her again. It was scary, but good all the same time. It's mixed feelings.
Sorry, my room's being haunted at the moment.
A ghost!
There
Is
a
it being
hag in this
haunted
house.
by hell?
It's a spook!
The Mad Witch Hazel.
Don't be mean.
Detect good and evil is good. Or should I get protection from good and evil?
Protection from good and evil
Protection's
is,
the better one.
that's during combat, it gives them, like,
Yeah.
disadvantage.
We're pretty good at detecting evil, I think. Usually
I also
just a
have
case of
detected evil.
everything is evil that isn't with us, and even that's questionable.
Well, good. This is the confusing thing: is that all the spells say good and evil, but what it actually means is fiends and fae, which is not always the same thing.
Be faint, celestial, undead.
Aberrations.
No.
No, not
Yes.
aberrations. Just
Yes. It says it in the protection from good and evil. Certain types of
elementals
creatures,
in there?
aberrations. Oh, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiend, and undead. It's the dispel good and evil that has celestial, elemental, fae, fiends, and undead.
okay. Well,
So,
we don't
no,
need
take care
to
of those
spell
types.
because we have banishment,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is a
so
better
you
version.
take
of
care
it.
of those foe types. I'll deal with the monstrosities and the beasties. Actually, no, Jonathan can deal with the beasties because he can actually talk to them.
And I'll
Hold some
deal
sort
with
of
the people.
council.
No, please wait. I hate dealing with people.
Okay, so protection from good and evil.
Angst is real.
and detect good and
Everything
evil.
sucks.
Shimmy, you put too much angst on this bacon.
Everything sucks.
Too much salt on the bacon.
Don't worry, guys. I can purify the food of angst.
Purify the...
I mean,
No,
eat my,
Domar doesn't get the bacon.
I eat my breakfast in a tree. Screw you guys.
He's getting
Why am
fish
I running
and
wild?
steaks.
I happily eat while half wrestling with my father. And by the way, I just love that my father's here so you can actually see it's not just my culture, I'm just an extra level of barbarian.
You guys always see on National Geographic or something similar when a younger lion is just fucking around with the alpha, and it's more like hanging off of him than anything else. That's what's kind of happening between Grunt and Nerd. Yep. But we've gone past the stage of feigning injury for the sake of ego, and he's just sometimes just lifting her, just pushing her away as he's eating.
Now trying to picture who out of who is going to be the members of the Lion King here.
Grunt, remember who you are.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Well,
What
shit,
about
we got
that
Shadow
shadowy
Kingdom.
place? That's Delmara. She do not own her.
Come about him, sir. Come about him, Scar.
Alright, let's prep the wagon, because we're actually going to be rolling out soon, aren't we?
Alright, I'll start loading up. Oh, she got fish and pancakes and a smiley face.
Protein, brain food.
There's a lot of stabbing happening on this plate.
Plate? We have a fucking plate. We have slabs.
Forks.
We have a stove.
We've managed to conjure a magical stove. We have plates.
I'm defiling centuries worth of arcane lore here by using the sword of Deldir as a knife.
You try to think to make it to the size of like a knife to cut with, and you just hear, "No, this is not happening."
No.
Please, Shimmer does good bacon.
I'm sure he does.
If you want a knife to eat, you can
No.
always borrow one of mine, and she holds out her dagger of venom.
No.
Would he realize that though?
Sorry?
Meanwhile-
Using the sunblade, like.
Would he realize it's
shit,
actually the
went
dagger of
wrong.
venom?
You can
Meanwhile-
activate it once a day. But I will say this, Narrowin, if you've seen that thing, like that knife that cooks the toast as you cut it, that's basically what you're doing right now.
Lie the bacon on the top and then just on off. There we go. Turn it over. On off.
Meanwhile, Grunt's showing the correct way to eat bacon, which is grab a fistful of it and shove it in your gob and eat it all at once.
Actually, that's how Shimmer is cooking. He's using the blade as the stove.
That works.
Yeah, there you go. It's
Grunt,
a
you're supposed
sunblade.
to take your
It's
fist
got
out of
heat.
your mouth before you start chewing.
Yum, yum, yum.
It adds a flavor.
I'm like a bear with honey on his paw.
Like fucking Pooh Bear with the fucking honey jar stuck on his hand. Like
The most vicious Pooh Bear in the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, it's always
Oh,
nice
bother, I
to,
have
it's
to
nice to
rip your
bond
heart
over
out.
breakfast, isn't it?
Oh, father.
we can never have a normal breakfast.
This is D&D.
We can never have a
Nothing's
normal anything.
I mean that's true. Yeah.
Anyway, once breakfast is finished, Grunt is going to start loading the cart, people included.
You left the car on the outskirts again.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have to walk out.
gotta
It's with John and Mugmug and that lot, isn't it?
No, you kind of like, you set them up somewhere quite similar to where you had previously, where you knew they'd be somewhat safe. Because you would not have been able to physically bring it through the underbrush.
Yeah. Okay.
But at this point, Scylla, who's still got a few blackened veins that he's working out, it's a lot of opening and closing of fists, like someone who's basically trying to get used to using muscles again. Very quiet over the course of the meal in the mornings, and says to you all, "Alright, thank you, but I'm not going to be able to be much of a contribution for a small bit. I need to do things here more than anything, and be ready for, well, if you ever do call. But
That's fair, we know.
the least I can do is send you on your way. Get you out to the center of the main entrance, or the wherever you came out of in the forest to begin with. Whenever you're ready, I'll open a path through a tree for you.
Ooh. I think I'm good to go. I don't think there's anything else that we necessarily need here.
No, I don't think so. I think we're sorted.
Grunt goes up to her father and gives him a big hug.
Is he not coming with us?
No, I believe he's staying behind.
Yeah, he's Nerd does pick up. I've got my own things here that I need to look at. I'm not going to be reliable inside there. I am. If I walk into that place, I'm not walking out until either everything in that place is dead or I am. So I'm not going to be useful for a subtlety mission.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Can you hear-
Grunt sort of gives that smile that suggests that's exactly what she had in mind.
Ooh.
That's why Grunt's staying in the cart.
Buckley, you get a very, what can only be described as a heavy boof from the side of an elbow from the from Nerd. Looks
Oh,
down
no.
at you.
Oh god. Oh,
Get her back to me, please.
what do? As I walked in the cart. Oh god.
It's less like, an actual dig and more like when someone who knows how to, like, say, a martial artist who knows what they're doing, like, taps you in a particular way and you just go, oh, there goes all feeling in this place. And he didn't even hit it. Ah!
That's more of what it's like. It's just like, okay, yep, I will do. Yeah.
Oh, you found the spot that turns Buckley into a pedal bin.
And just before they part ways, how people do that friendly punch in the arm, only with Grunt it looks more like a gorilla trying to destroy something, but either way.
In the slow recaption, here it is. Yeah.
Grunt, after a while of this, he just grabs, like, say, the sides of your arms and just, like, stops your flailing, for lack of a better term, and just puts his forehead to yours. And speaks in giant to you, don't die. And he pulls away from you.
Bugger, I don't speak that.
Nope, I only speak Celestial and Infernal.
And then grabs him by the ears and headbutts him before running off.
Yeah, the two good ones.
Common! I speak common!
I think you speak Elvish.
Yes. It was a reference to another
Thieves
joke.
Can't.
It was a reference to another
Based on
joke,
us.
Jess.
Yeah, my campaign.
I don't care.
I do.
That's what you're telling Gunslinger, but I don't care.
After headbanging her father and running away where she's out of range, she just waves and says, "Nut!" Although it's in a gravelly voice, so it's more like,
It's just like discovering the Orange Princess in Castle Crashers where we go, that's not a voice that should be coming out of that face.
Ooh, more like,
you got that one, Johnny DeVito.
I'm watching you.
Boy, did.
Sid. Always watching.
Fuck.
I didn't mean to click that.
No, I can't actually do Grunt's voice, it's far too deep.
I'm watching you. A bit more like that.
Enough.
Like Dory speaking whale.
We need you to find his mom.
Through the tree.
Yeah, let's just go.
We make like a tree and go barking.
Up
In
the
the
wrong
wind.
one?
Or at the
We're at,
Scylla,
we're at the moon.
as you guys move towards one of the larger oaks, Scylla just puts a hand to it and waves it down in just like a straight motion, and it splits open. You'll rush through, and with your companions Othir, Jonathan, and Mug in tow, to outside where your horses are, and I do believe you have horses anyway. Your horses and carriage.
No, we have a
it's
carriage, but
the
we're using
wolves.
the wolves.
Oh yeah, you summon your wolves. Yeah.
Mm.
So you just have the carriage there. The carriage you left pretty much empty anyway, so it's just an empty carriage that's left there now.
We only use it for transport. We don't keep stuff in it, really.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid to keep stuff in.
There's
You
too
don't
many
even usually
thieves
have it
around
in
here,
the
isn't
car,
there?
Usually with the wolves pulling it.
There were cages in it, but we fashioned them into a highly fashionable monument.
It's a road sign.
Yeah,
It's pointing at the sky.
One takes you straight, the other one takes you right. If you go straight, it's pointing right at the student.
It also doubles as a warning sign, I suppose.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Okay.
So we're basically gonna take, Distoon and be the leaders then after we take all, kill all the bad people in there, right?
I don't think any of us really know how to lead a city.
Or want to.
Don't worry, you can be led by council. It's fine. Do it.
I mean, depending on how successful our plan is with the Silver Dragon, she could run it. Might be some sort of ironic justice.
Yeah, we've still not
But
fully
we'll see how that
established what we're going to do about that, have we?
Right. Oh,
Thought we had.
yeah.
We know what we want to do, but the actual method of how we're going to do it, like how do we transport a very angry silver dragon from a city to a forest to be purified?
About
Rope.
30 miles away.
Hadn't really covered the logistics.
Did we
Grunt
find
just
the
sort of
name?
lingers at the edge of the forest and just sort
We
of...
get a really
I
long
have an
piece
idea,
of
but
rope
nobody will like it.
and
Don't
get
say a
Grunt
boat.
to pull.
Don't say a boat.
No. Remember those shackles?
Yes. We don't have any with us. Yeah, we specifically said we didn't want them, but we didn't need the shackles because if we can get the orb close enough to her, and that'll debilitate her. But now what Dell's saying is, how do we then move her?
Yes.
Oh,
We decide-
I've just had a brilliant idea. This campaign needs more car chases in. We piss off the dragon. We get her to chase us in the cart. We ride back to the forest. Why are you all laughing?
You follow the World of Warcraft logic of I'm going to taunt the raid boss and run into Ogrimmar.
That was something you could actually do in EverQuest, not just with
Grant,
bugs. You
keep
could always
running.
fight things a million miles away.
So, question to you, Alistair Dartwood. How fast do you think wolves move compared to a flying ancient silver dragon?
But if we have the orb,
Ah,
hopefully she might
Dragons
be
fly,
slowed.
they're no good at running.
Grant sketches out the concept that, despite her strength, even she can't carry a dragon back 30 miles.
Wow.
Well, I thought Silva was gonna like transform and then carry her via some sort of.
He was. Silla's not coming.
He's not really
plan
in a
B.
good state at the moment.
Let me look through my spells.
The problem is we don't fully know what this orb does because everybody just says debilitate or weaken, but that doesn't mean like can they no longer fly? Can they no longer breathe their stuff? Can they walk? We don't know.
I'm right to know, asking the question, how many pieces can we bring the dragon back in?
Whole,
Can...
preferably.
Yeah, hole, please.
But yeah.
Can I do a legend lore on the dragon orb?
No.
Sure.
Please do.
Let me look up specifically what Legend Lore does again.
Right there.
Oh, thank you.
I was thinking, while Das reads through that, when we get the orb, Buckley can somehow fabricate some sort of necklace piece or, choker that we can put it into.
You know it's
keep it
like this
debilitated.
big, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's a big dragon, so I'm not thinking like a necklace or a ring. I'm thinking like
excuse
a
me.
big band of metal.
I'm taking someone.
Oh.
Oh. And away they go again.
I suppose this is why normally Matt Mercer is the one that has the main recording, so that people can always hear what's going on,
Generally,
rather than
yeah.
us like shit talking. But yeah, you get what I mean, though, don't you? If we can get the dragon orb close enough to her, and it debilitates her so that she can't really do anything, because if Galgarond and Aeon Sulla are scared of it as, for good reason, if it's a justifiable reason,
I
and
feel
getting the orb close enough to her will stop her.
I feel like when they described, because in order to capture her and corrupt her, an orb was used on her already, and the way they described it, it sounded like she fell out the sky. If
So
I'm recalling.
maybe it stops her
Maybe.
from...
I do have this big old horn to call for the aid of the forest. Maybe we're supposed to do that when we've downed the dragon, so they can, come and uncorrupt her or something,
Dunno,
rather than
again,
bringing
we
her
don't
all the
really
way
know.
back to the forest.
Again, what does the horn do? A lot of stuff is very vague descriptions. Does it just summon? Does it
To
summon
call the
creatures
aid
to
of the
fight?
forest.
Hmm.
That's all I've been told. The aid of the forest.
Don't know how much the
It
forest.
only
on
works
its own.
once, to my understanding.
Didn't we have a way to summon Aeon Soul to this?
Did he give one of us a sending stone or something? I don't have one in my inventory.
Grunt certainly doesn't.
I've got the set of mystery keys.
I feel like Das expected me to respond differently to a
Yeah.
dream of hell coming up and killing me.
I could tell. But yeah, it's nothing to do with the sword.
I've got a sending stone and
There
he's
you
got
go.
the other one. That's
He
it,
is
yeah.
sending stone.
There you go.
I spelt it incorrectly on purpose. Aeon Soul.
Oh, right.
Spelled it out phonetically. Yeah, so I've got a sending stone.
So there you go.
So I
we
can
we
tell him
summoned
to
him
come
with a
running.
sending stone.
Because if we can debilitate her, the problem, if we've got enough time on our hands, then we can move her fairly easily because we can get people in to construct some sort of carrying cart or something.
That'd be a hell of a car.
If we do that,
It'd be a hell of a car, but it would be
if
doable.
we do that, then we have to take everybody out first because we don't need people
Yeah.
attacking us while we're trying to remove this dragon. We
I
also
suppose
have
it
to take
depends on where the
into
dragon
account-
has been put down, because otherwise we're going to have to remove walls and stuff.
Yeah. But we also have to take into account for Aeon Sol how long it will take him to get to Distoon, because it's several days for us, so while flying, that could be a day.
Mm.
And I wake up. Okay.
You snap back into focus.
Okay. So, apparently, dragon orbs were not created for by the enemies of dragons, but actually by Bahamut.
Seems counterintuitive.
It does a
It,
bit.
it was more so to prevent dragons from thinking they be a god, to be, unchallengeable. Basically what the orb does is make the creature, the dragon, stay with whatever form they are in. So if we were to get her, say, in her human form, she would stay within that form. While the dragon orb was worked, or concentrated on.
That's useful
That's
to know.
very useful to know.
Yes.
Ooh, that changes things then.
The other thing is it does make them very vulnerable. So they cannot fly, they could not breathe. However, they can still cast spells, and the spells will still be potent.
That's interesting.
That is
That's
interesting because we
very
actually
interesting.
have a partial description of her humanoid form.
Yes. It also weakens them in terms of they lose their vulnerability, or makes them very vulnerable, so they don't have their legendary actions and things like that, or resistances. But they do still have the action, so they lose all legendary thing.
It weakens both sides. I did not say removes.
Right. It weakens both, but
That changes things then. Maybe we ain't going to be fighting a dragon at all if we play this correctly.
Yeah, this is transforming from a fight and a capture to just a straight up kidnapping a person.
Uh-huh. Do you honestly think I would fucking throw one of those at you?
Eardrums, Das!
yes. But in any case, there's also, so far, no idea of how many exist, but there are 2 I know of, which is in Distoon and Duskhaven.
Well, the one we have.
Yes.
So if we find the dragon orb and then find her,
Oh, and only people who speak Draconic can hold the orb and speak it and concentrate it. So either me or Shimmer that I know of.
Well, I would assume use because I've held it, but nothing happened.
that was hilarious.
Yes.
Well, you have to speak an incantation which is written upon the orb itself.
What was hilarious was the fact that I managed to hide it from the entire party somehow. Oh, this big massive orb! I'm just gonna whoop. There we go. Nobody saw it.
My god, Dar's pregnant.
Wow, her ass got huge.
Why are you looking?
But in any case, that's all I know.
Okay, does it give off any sort of magical aura?
I was told.
Asking Buckley.
Well,
Not Fate. Hello?
It didn't specify on that.
Okay, because I'm thinking if we know what it looks like, does anybody have any way of locating said object?
We have one already.
You do not. Mara
Oh, no.
Firesoul has one.
Cool, great. So all we have to do is bring every person that we know of, and we will be well equipped to deal with this task.
Well, the thing is that we know that Merok has one because that's the one that we found, but we also know that there is one within this town somewhere. So do we? And when I say we, I do of course mean me, because I'm the rogue, attempt to get their hands on the dragon orb that they have, and then try to use it on her.
Yes,
that-
I think
I
I think
agree.
getting it because if she changes to a dragon form, and then we use it on her, then we've got a big fuck off dragon to deal with. We can't forcibly make her turn human. That has to be something she does by will, and she's not going to be like, I'm in a bad situation, better turn human. Not going to happen, is it?
No.
Unless she
I
has to
can-
happens to have to run through a doorway for some reason.
I can also I do have the ability to locate objects. I just
Ooh.
have to sleep before we do that.
Okay, well, obviously it's not going to get there now.
Yeah,
and
we're
we're-
still a few days away, so we can do that.
Right.
Okay, so that will give us some heading on where we're going.
Yes.
So now we need to think about how we're going to get all.
1,000 feet away. Which the city of Distune is how big?
Fuck knows.
Twice the size of Duskhaven.
Okay, so less
Bigger than
1,000.
Duskhaven? I would have thought it was smaller than Duskhaven.
No,
It's
this time was
essentially
big.
a very large fort. It's a very large
It's-
fort repurposed to a city.
It's like if
Also-
Duskhaven didn't have the sea on it and it managed to continue around in a circle. That's this
Fair
town,
enough.
size-wise.
I mean, I
With
could
an
also,
arena
you know,
smack bang in the center, which is essentially the equivalent of the Roman Colosseum.
Hello, we're the Romans.
You didn't write "go home" properly. No, that's not how you spell it. Go home, fiends.
Okay.
Monty Python was not the place I expected to have a Latin lesson. Anyway.
Romans go home.
So now,
Monty Python is the only place to get Latin lesson.
So now plan of action is we head to Distone, we hopefully get in undisturbed, we use the spell to locate the orb, we try to obtain the orb, hopefully by getting very little attention, and then we try to locate her, hopefully within her human form, debilitate her and get her out, essentially.
My main concern is that she's not going to be unaware that the orb's there, regardless of which side she's working for. So she's going to know of the orb, and if I was a dragon that knew of an orb that could debilitate me, I would keep a very close eye on where said orb was, and I would keep myself at a relative distance from it,
Yeah.
and to be constantly aware of whether it was in-house or out-of-house, shall we say. So I think the two are going to be fairly close together. This is going to be a locate, get close to, and then we have to kind of use it from the pedestal or the safe or whatever, the fancy cushion that it's kept
Yeah.
on.
As
And
fast
sort of
as we can,
immediately go.
essentially.
I mean, it is that, so I would assume it is one of those.
It comes on a black onyx with gold trimmed cushion that says, "Fuck off, Dartwood, you sarky bastard."
No
written in
rogues
Draconic.
allowed.
Wait,
No rogues allowed, my dear.
We have to leave
What?
immediately.
Onyx Is onyx supposed to be the color, or is the cushion actually supposed to be made out of
Yes.
onyx?
Colour.
Anyway, we're moving on.
Once Alistair is done predicting the future.
Should have been a mystic.
Get the nosebleed.
Scry on it, but that is very, very risky.
What does scrying entail? Not heard of this spell. Is that where you cry with an S?
Actually, never mind. I can't do that.
Don't explain it,
I'm not
Nerwin.
sure.
It will take too long. It's fine.
Oh, no,
Relax.
No. I forgot it's on a creature, not an object. So I can't.
Okay,
Look
so we
upon
have a rough plan of action.
Okay. I suppose all we can do now is go
Hope.
there and see what
Pray.
state it's in, and see if we can get into the city.
Well, we're going in under the guise of not guys. We're going in selling ourselves as gladiators, aren't we?
That was the original
Grunt
plan.
nods.
Yeah.
Grunt
She
nods.
also,
Grunt
she
wants to go
also,
back
she
to the
also,
arena.
she also taps the skull on her belt.
Skulls are meant to protect your brains.
It's the skull of Rem Kum, if you can remember, the person who was collecting gladiators.
Oh, it's
Almost like
recent.
festival.
The Blackguard.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
Right.
He was looking for challenges for the arena, so he's going to come back with challenges for the arena.
I mean,
Oh
Is
yeah,
it,
right. Because I'm wearing his armor. I totally forgot about that part. Like, oh yeah.
Like,
I'm in
oh yeah, where'd I get this?
Yeah. Oh, hey, neat.
Wasn't this blue last time?
Yeah, no, I totally
I
forgot
think
about
it'll
that
prove
part.
our worth
So I
for
was
the
like,
arena,
oh,
if
yeah,
nothing
where
right,
did
else.
I get
we're
this
plate mail now.
sword?
Aren't I a monk?
Yeah, wait,
I feel like I'm meant to punch people.
Can't I fly?
that I do know. I do.
Okay,
But no, I totally forgot I was wearing plate mail because I took the guy's armor.
let's go
So I was like, oh yeah,
to hell
sweet.
this time.
Plate armor. Go behind the corner.
It's just
Alright, we're
it's just the Duskhaven logo.
Transition. Oh wow, that
I don't
was
even know
such a
what this
long
group is.
journey, wasn't it, guys?
So you begin your travel. You're moving towards it. We'll say that you were in the course of this moving along. The typical paranoid rogue and snarky ranger are keeping a lookout as you go. You don't seem to find much in the way of interaction, of crowd, of people, as the wolves summoned by Jonathan's cloak pull your cart along for you. The arid barrens, the scent of sand, and just the intense heat. It's not even of a breeze on the day's wind. It is just stagnant heat, and everyone bar Shimmer is somewhat uncomfortable. Shimmer, this is ideal temperature for you right now.
Roger.
Actually, I'm a Forge Domain cleric.
Resistant to fire damage.
Whatever.
I am getting sweat in regions I would rather.
Grunt is not a fan of this. She was raised in the mountains.
Delmara, you're wearing full black.
I'm wearing full black and I'm regretting my life choices, but I'm adamantly remaining silent.
Bullet armor's really good at keeping heat out, but it's also good at keeping the heat that's in.
Grunt is currently glad that she mostly just wears cloth.
And this is why we get a covered wagon next time.
You guys watch as Mugmug has essentially from nowhere pulled out like this weird piece of steel that he's bent in just 3 ways, and he's just sunbathing.
I thought you were going to say
Along
he
the
pulled out some oil then, and he's just like...
He's doing that as well.
Oh yeah, that's as well.
I left in my back.
Back of the cart, I'm going
Jonathan's
to,
doing his back.
I'd rather chop off my hands with his new sunblade.
Yeah, I in the back of the cart in some containers that I fabricated out of some gold coins that I got.
Fabricate is such a bard spell. Here's some stuff that I'm going to pull out of my ass
Yeah, I did, right?
and proceed to use. You don't have a barrel, I fabricate one. Fuck you, DM.
Well,
Do what I want.
Would you rather have, you know, a gemstone, containers, or some gold containers for our water? Because I'm about to create some food and water.
I have a water
We have
skin.
water skins.
I can create.
I made this when I was 7, and have
Create
kept it with me.
30 gallons of water.
That explains the stitching.
Why don't you just create 30 gallons of water to just rain on us very gradually for the next
technically, I can
5
put it on
hours?
I can do it on the ground or in the containers.
Just
I don't
do a
think we have
simple
anything that will
cake.
carry 30 gallons that's empty at
That's
the
why I
moment,
was
do
going
we?
to create something.
I
You'd
don't.
have to create a lot of barrels, and you don't have the space in the car for 30 barrels. For that many
30
barrels.
gallons isn't... That it would be a barrel, probably.
If you could create a sunroof, that would be appreciated. I think I'm going to start burning soon.
Sunroof would be good. I'd also like something that doesn't attract our attention to robbers.
Did somebody
So,
say burning?
Not gold. Or gemstone.
Like, how do you drink your water on your caravan trips out? Oh, we use the gold-encrusted, gem-made barrel. Bugger me! Could you warm it up and pass the tea bags? One's parched. Where's Jeffrey? Must have fallen off the back of the cart, damn fool!
Okay.
Most British thing he's ever said.
Wood is fine.
Well, do you have any raw fucking wood?
We just left
Oh
the forest!
yes, the cart.
I mean, you had so much perfect metal, and you made a middle finger out of it.
Grunt,
Okay.
Worth
Grunt
it.
is apparently a genius and writes down that we're currently walking across sand so we could make it out of glass.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
No, you can make that work.
That's
There
really
you
cool.
go.
Like, keep,
There's
the
Flashy.
light-
Genius.
I'm a
Okay.
little disturbed
really
that
wanted
Grunt
to-
was the one that came up with it.
We can all sit around it with folded metal that Mugmug seems to carry with him for sunbathing, apparently. Priorities. I'm glad I taught him well on how to survive in the swamplands. And we can heat up the water for a nice hot cocoa as well.
But I mean,
Now that all our dietary needs have been attended to, can we get back to the task at hand? We're trying to save the fucking universe.
Also, it's very slowly burning to a crisp.
Yes.
Real quick though, I mean, wouldn't glass just intensify the heat?
Make a roof and shut up.
Okay. Oh, you say darkened glass.
Use some of Dell's knives. She's got plenty of metal strewn about her person that you can fabricate into something.
As you people bitch about your fabrication.
Fuck you all. And I'll just use the fucking sand to make a fucking roof.
Out of
Okay.
glass.
Congratulations, you made a hotbox.
Out of glass.
But
Oh my god.
Grunt rest her bone shield on
Oh,
top of
but
said
then also-
thing.
Oh, perfect. Now you have a cover with a bone shield.
I'm just going to tie my rope to my ankles and tie it to the cart and then leap off the back because that'll be a more comfortable journey than the one sat in the back of the cart. Please speed up.
Give me a fucking minute. I was also going to break down my hand axe and put some metal in to darken.
You mean
the
your
lines.
magical hand axe?
Fuck, damn.
Okay, better question. Can I have a look out across this desert? Is there any sort of wood life anywhere? Is there an animal that we can fabricate this out of goddamn flesh? Just give the man some material other than glass before
Actually,
he
I do have a set of
barbecues
common
us.
clothes that I'll use to actually make a cloth cover.
You're gonna use
There.
clothes to fabricate a... Yeah, okay. Done.
Oh,
Nobody's
God.
like, oh, it's glass. It's gonna fucking.
You would make us a greenhouse
I don't
in a
give fuck.
desert. I do. I don't
Oh.
want it to burn.
Level
To be
10!
fair, it was Grunt's
silly
Heroes
idea to
of
make it glass.
Dusthaven.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
just
Right.
sitting here
Somewhere
driving the car.
Galgron thinking, I have made such a good choice. These people, these young aspiring heroes will lead the way for future glory.
The Chroma Conclave won't know what hit them.
Yep.
Literally, Vox Machina, it's like, you guys are heroes now, we're dicks.
Right.
This is the
next
year we
time-
reclaim
Apparently
our
this,
dignity.
taint.
Taint,
Apparently
taint,
this
taint.
desert got so hot that we apparently hallucinated that we had a party member from another campaign.
The next time we get to any sort of town where there's decent shopping centre, we're going to buy Buckley a bag of holding for himself that we're just going to fill with crap for him to use fabricate on to his heart's contempt. He can just pull out wood chippings and just make shit appear from his hand.
I mean, that would be nice, yeah.
It's a good
You
idea.
can literally pull arrows out of your ass.
Iron filing, just be like, look, I can make a fountain
you go,
or a
there.
bird bath. Moving on.
That would be interesting. Just
Okay.
throw a bunch of wood chips in the air, turn them into clouds, and then fall on somebody.
That was almost a Lewis level of breakdown. With the oil.
Scoop it up with your fucking hands.
We'll grab some oil, I'll
Oh,
shove it
also,
up
actually-
my ass, and then we'll go into space!
I couldn't have done the glass anyway because it's not part of my proficiencies, so it's just that.
Shut up!
I love just letting this shit roll. This is great.
Grunt has started pushing the cart from behind just so we can get wherever we're going quicker.
It's
Shimmer
been
is...
an hour.
Shimmer is...
Forge domain.
Hi.
We currently have Shimmer and Jonathan at the front with the wolves kind of like moving the cart forward. So while these shenanigans are going on in the back, you are making progress.
Cool.
Yeah,
It feels like
it
it's
says
very
at the bottom here you can't make glass.
Okay, I have a very interesting yet feasible idea. Take a little wood, make it into fans, fan your damn selves.
Do you see any trees? We kind of need the cart to sit on.
I just reconstruct like 2 planks on each side just to be post for the cloth top.
Okay.
At this
This
point, I'm
fucking
considering
back down.
taking my Endure Elements potion that I've got.
Okay, so you travel through the day and it is rather uneventful. Besides your antics.
There. That,
Bonding.
Every D&D session needs shenanigans.
Clerics in stone temples shouldn't throw glass roofs.
shouldn't create
Yeah.
classroom.
Spoiler
Yeah, that
alert,
one.
throwing glass roofs is not something you should do anyway. You know, there's Grunt with her 50 glass roofs going, no.
Your ass is glass, mate. Okay. What did I miss?
Nothing. So you move along to your second day of travel. Take about, say, 2 more days to actually get to Distoon. I know I always play a bit loose with how long it takes, but fuck it.
Roll a d6. Takes you this many days. Roads change.
I'm gonna borrow that sunbathing thing for a while.
Mug does not share.
Also, Del, I could actually modify the leather's appearance, for your armor if you ever wanted.
Yeah, you could make
You
it look
wanted-
like glass.
Shut up.
Grunt comes up with a brilliant plan and picks up Shimmer and gives him a piggyback ride so she has some shade.
Oh, what a lovely
You can
lizard
take
skin
this up.
rug you've got there.
What do I want the shade for? I'm fine.
No, you're
No, she's
shading
using
her.
you for shade. Yeah, you're
you're
using
shading
you
me.
as shade.
Ah,
You're just
Fair enough,
like sprawled on her back, just like loving
are
it.
the ropes long enough?
You're gold and reflective, it's fantastic.
I'm going to sit here with my bow and commune with my patron about the delicious things that are coming to me once I have appeased him.
Lunch.
It is
Yes,
magical
we will
armor
be
though,
doing
Naren, so
brunch.
I don't know if you can change it.
What?
See, Grunt can't
Yeah, I
say
got
this, so
magic armor.
somebody.
Oh.
But I am.
Bottom's spare set.
I'm surprised as much as you are.
Oh, I'm controlling Mug at the moment. Mug suggests that it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Where did he learn
Mug
that
has
I
word?
know what that word means.
He
Jonathan
doesn't know,
looks
it's just
so
something that
proud.
people say when it's hot.
Jonathan looks so proud.
He just repeats phrases that he hears. Well, now you're just
Parrot.
being transcendent.
He's just a parrot. A poorly
Actually-
trained parrot.
It's like
Grunt meanwhile gives him a
0%
look,
humidity.
it's like it is in fact the heat, and has nothing to do with the
No,
humidity.
it's 100% humidity.
and end the stream.
Humidity would be sweat.
That's what we said.
Welcome to 5 years ago. Wow.
That
the
was
time
5
flies
years
past.
ago.
God, yeah.
Yes, it
49.
was. Anyway, before we all kill
There.
ourselves.
Could you just make posts on it? On the cart?
Anyway,
Can we stop talking about the cart? We're nearly there.
Fair enough.
I might
We're
just
gonna get mad by the
give
third day in this
set fire
desert.
to the cart when we get to the other end. Just be like, alright, that's it! We're done now! We're done, fucking done, no more cart!
Fucking
Come on.
road trip.
If I recall, that's
Mug
what
just
happened
needs to start
last
asking,
time.
are we there yet?
That's what happened last time. We'd been travelling for so long that when we arrived at the gate, Damara almost exploded.
Just pissed off.
I
to
mean,
be fair, she had to
Gerard-
put up with Alistair and Nosdo, so can you blame her? So, what you do notice, say, on the third of 4 days worth of travel towards Distoon, is that there are actually there are roads that say converge, say 4 to 5 roads that converge into a main road leading towards it, and you can begin seeing the silhouette of the city in the distance, the massive clay walls that fortify it. But what you do also know is notice is that there are other travelers on the road. There are other carriages, carts, people moving goods, things, people, animals, all to Distoon. There are times where several pass you using actual horses bred for pulling rather than wolves.
Guys, if we just try and blend in, I think we'll be peachy.
That's one of the wolves goes. Yeah, well, they did perfectly fine.
As we
There
get
are
after-
traders. There are trader carriages and shops that get set up along the way and move through. There are times where you're starting to notice there's actually a bit of a build-up of like roads commuting towards it. As if there's been many beaten paths built towards or just worn in from on the trek towards this city. As you converge for your third night, you're aware that there actually are more carriages, and there's groups of them that are now actually more nestling together at night out of protection and the kind of group herd mentality sort of thing.
Possibly meaning that there could be unfavourables on the road, maybe?
Hmm.
Only
Keep
when
your
you
eyes
know
about you.
it's-
Just gonna have a quick check around. Not being watched, not being followed specifically, are we?
Alistair, make an intelligence check.
Now.
Just a fucking intelligence check.
Unfortunately, intelligence is my weakest stat.
We know.
So you only have a +5 in it?
+2 is his weakest stat. God damn it.
So, Alistair, if this wasn't difficult, because you are a man who has traveled roads many a time, there is a very simple mentality on the roads. Until you know someone, any stranger on the road could be just as likely to kill you as you are likely to kill them.
Paranoia. That's what we're going to stick to with this one.
I'm familiar with that.
Good job, brain.
Okay.
Good job, brain.
Why do you sound camp as fuck?
Embrace yourself!
Little rainbow tries to get out of your mind.
Sounds like there's a pot of gold up there with you as well.
That's the one you saw off telly.
Ron
Anyway,
writes a note to Dell saying, I think Alistair's gone desert mad.
Heat stroke.
Glass, I tell you.
Are we like within a day's travel, or are we still a few
You're
days
within
out?
a day's travel.
Okay.
You're within a day's travel.
oh, thank God, when I get my second level of Warlock, I can learn calm emotions.
You need it.
Oh, don't worry, I can do that now.
I'm going to shove that sword to the hilt.
That's not hard, because there's no blade.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, literally, I'm the one that says on or off on it.
I'm going to learn the command word for that, and then this campaign will change.
Do you ever follow the sword?
I call this the Vindaloo shot.
TPK from Road Trip is currently going.
As the crew
It's
kills
Quan
each
Chi's
other.
master plan. He's teleporting the city further away so you kill each other.
Just another 3 days, just another 3 days, trust me. They're breaking down.
Keep going, keep going.
Coordination's falling out the window, it's perfect.
Like, we
Use
get to the main
hallucinatory
road.
terrain to trick them to have to go around. Go back around. They'll think that they missed the city.
Yeah, we get to like the main road. The city's gone. Like, oh, I guess it's further out there.
Well,
And
Shimmer is
back-
perfectly fine.
The party
Sat
just
there
wander
sunbathing.
into the desert and are never seen again.
Yep.
Carrying so much magical gear.
Then we have the next campaign where it's like, okay, you start in the desert. You've all been gone mad. Who are you? Who are you?
Right. Everyone, keep your eyes around, and anybody who comes a bit too close, tell them to,
Fuck off.
go away, please. Yeah, yeah, that's more intimidating. Yeah, do that one.
Go away, please.
Delmara and Alistair, make perception checks as you're passing, like, say, one of the larger groupings of caravans.
Right. Hopefully
I have
expertise
advantage
still
because of
works.
favoured terrain.
No.
Don't think that applies anymore, does it?
I just say no to you in general now.
Oh, wow, that was poo.
Rather poor rolls from both of us, actually.
Are you level 10 yet, Del?
Yes.
Oh wait, it doesn't matter. No wait, hang on. Actually, it does matter. That's a 20 for you then.
No, I don't get that to level 10.
Oh.
Else
thought
I'd
you
be
did.
way more excited. It's level 11.
Okay, well. Fuck my
Do I
life.
see it?
If I had that ability, I'd be backflipping everywhere. And flipping the middle finger at everybody.
Until your shadow drags you down. Get caught by a shadow and slapped to the ground.
I make an acrobatics check, but it's a 25!
Double checking my natural explorer thing. Can't
Okay.
become lost unless there's magic involved. Although we don't know where the fuck we are anyway, so does that even apply?
Because I see sand.
You can already see the city.
Yeah,
We know where we're going.
It's like fucking. The
we
Soviet
see
War.
a city.
It's like
There's a
the
car
Soviet-
breeze next to me. Put Blue on the phone.
No, it's like the fucking
Greg's.
Soviet Wombo episode where it was like, so where am I going? It's right there, like 100 feet away. Like it's right there. Just drive.
So 15. What does Del, if anything, see?
Delmara, one thing you notice is that a lot of these, from this particular pocket of carriages, there's a lot of really heavily reinforced, like there's steel covering them. And you notice that they look like they're built to survive a lot. This, while the weather is inhospitable in regards to just the heat, the actual terrain is easy to navigate. This looks like it's made to go, like, say, through mountainous regions. A lot of it is. And you actually do, in fact, as you're peering past into some of the clearings, see even one or two chariots that are set up inside there as well.
Wow.
Some people are
Fancy.
prepped for some combat by the looks of it.
I've never seen a chariot before.
Neither have I.
I lived
That's
in a
not
swamp.
So, Buckley, you have.
Oh, have I?
Chariots were one of the main, essentially quick reactionary forces for hobgoblins in the north.
Oh, right.
Literally, it's the equivalent of a squad car.
Woo, woo, woo! Wargs on the run.
Grunt's seen them.
Grunt, you've definitely
You
seen
lived
them.
there.
I've been run over by a few, probably.
You have. You've ended up breaking the wheels of them as they ran over you.
Yep.
Grunt, what's with the half-built, really tiny carriages?
She
Those are
draws
chariots.
it. She sits back down in the cart. She tends to like to walk behind it because it's too hot with all the other people. But she sits down for a minute to draw an incredibly detailed sketch of how gladiators fight with them, and stuff like that.
Ooh. So you
You're
stick a
also-
horse on one
Goblins
end.
use them as well.
You're also getting. It is actually nightfall at this point. It's gotten far cooler. And Dumar, most of what you can see is actually by campfire.
Oh, the road ahead.
Yeah, they're more like, say, they're off on the right of your road currently. Like, say, they're about 50 feet off, all built up, and you do hear Horace, Rora's kind of laughter and jesting. Alistair, you recognize the languages. There are multiple languages being spoken. There's Orcish. There's Draconic.
I don't
And
speak
there's
that.
And no, but others do in the party. And there's also Goblinoid.
But nobody's
Oh,
speaking
damn it.
Elvish around here.
I don't speak Goblinoid, unfortunately.
But,
I thought you did.
No, Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, Orcish, and Abyssal. Or Elven, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you did long ago. My mistake.
Probably don't need a cooking fire tonight. We can probably just break a couple of eggs onto Grunt's back.
Ooh,
But yeah,
natural
don't worry,
oil.
guys, I'll lead our way into wherever we find our camp with my sunblade, because apparently I can have, like, it's a 15-foot
Or I
range,
can
It's basically a
just
free
have, like-
fucking torch.
and it's sunlight.
Hmm.
It's not just like a torchlight, it's sunlight.
I could understand why people would armour up their carts on treacherous routes, but the chariots are interesting. Do you think maybe there's a tournament happening?
So, are these chariots just for transport, or are they
Chariots tend to
like,
be used.
fighting then?
Chariots tend to be
Damara?
more used in combat.
You could see on the chariots that there's about a foot-long blade to either side of the chariots. It's not like, say, a direct curve. It's, say, a curve that moves up and then down again, up and down again, as if it's meant to cut in multiple ways.
nasty bit of kit?
They're much better for combat than most vehicles.
Transport,
And I point
yeah.
out the blades to Alistair, saying as you charge past people, you can hopefully remove most of their legs.
That or the wheels.
Yeah.
Note to self, jump.
They're,
Okay.
they're generally for one person and with two horses, so they tend to be a lot quicker and more manoeuvrable. So
But hang
yeah,
on.
It's a
That one's
range.
got 2 people in it.
you can get more than one, but generally it's one.
There's chariots that usually do support two people. One is a driver, the other one is, say, a glaive wielder or a bowman.
Ooh.
They don't often come with seats. It's standing.
Standing room only.
Yeah, standing.
Ah.
only.
Sometimes
So-
they have races with them where there's 4 horses attached just to one with a driver.
Jesus, I bet that thing can go like stink.
Yeah, it can. So yeah,
Yeah,
they're a very much a more aggressive vehicle. So yeah, it's a
And
bit
how-
unusual. Bit unusual.
Grunt throws out,
Town are we
Grunt throws out that the best tactic is to try and grab the wheel as it runs over you.
Again, that's just the thing you did. That's I mean,
Sorry,
just-
Alistair, what were you saying?
How far out from the town are we at this point?
You are about. It will take you. From this point, if you were to say camp here, it would take you midday tomorrow to be at the gates.
So about 12 hours worth. So we're seeing chariots now, and they're just riding up to and from.
No, these are chariots that are in. They're literally like drop down. They're left up by the actual carriages from this very large set of carriages that are off to say your right. It's one of the largest ones that you passed. There have been others, but they haven't had. They've been just like the typical wooden, even if there's some like say that are redwood or beautiful design or a great gloss or polished up with steel or anything. But these ones are actually like, not only are they reinforced, they're very well crafted reinforced steel. Buckley, you can't help but appreciate as you pass as well.
Right.
It's definitely something that's been done by hand, but meticulous work.
Real quick, because we stole the other dude's cart, the one that the armor I'm wearing.
Yeah.
That dude. We stole his cart.
Yeah,
So didn't his cart have already be covered? Wasn't his cart
It
already?
wasn't reinforced.
No, it was open back because it had the cages that were
Oh, right.
Yeah.
massive, and we destroyed them. So it's basically just a cart with was it seat stands? No, it was just
It was.
It's
just a
essentially
just a
it's
box.
literally
Wasn't it?
just a box.
Yeah,
'cause
the
it didn't
seats
have
were
room for
removed
seats.
for the cages, and we removed the
Yeah.
cages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly bigger version of the one that we
because
had
I
before.
had put seats in because I was like, yeah, that's gonna be kind of.
But these would be more, say, the kind of carriage that you would see a noble family riding in, sort of thing. Very, like, say, 2 doors that would open up with a cover over kind of way.
Mm.
But they are the equivalent of a bulletproof Humvee.
Yeah, this is literally
So the chariots look like they're kind of like they travel alongside other carriages as a means
Yes,
of like.
these would be
protecting them.
this would literally be like a
escort.
good example is the cop car that's next to the president's
Yeah.
vehicle, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this is one group, or is this
Right.
multiple
caravan
groups?
kind of thing.
This
Said
is
multiple.
Convoy.
there have been multiple groups, and there are multiple groups currently here, all seemingly to share around the same large fire.
Right, okay. So yeah,
a
a bunch of Ponzi's with a bunch of very well-made chariots, which are not typically your vehicle of choice for trade.
Mm.
So you suppose something's happening.
Some
So
sort of
either something's happening or something's happened in the past that's got people scared, I'd imagine. Either way, let's try not to piss off any other roadsters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to end badly.
Grunt would like to look around to make just to see if anyone's recognised her yet, being that we seem to be getting in amongst a lot of arena goers.
No, not yet.
No?
And if anyone has, they've been keeping their damn mouth shut.
Good to know.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Can I examine the metal which is upon the chariot?
I'd be cautious about getting close to them.
Yeah, you'd have to get close to examine it. You're in the middle of the damn night.
We don't want to aggravate
Oh, yeah, it's
people.
nighttime. Yeah. Do we want to
Right.
just keep? Actually, how long does the wolves go on for? 'Cause we
You're
have to keep stopping.
probably at the point.
They probably have to rest.
Yeah.
No, I mean
Well,
like they'll
they're-
just
they're
ban from
castable.
existence, won't they? They just sort of go and they're gone. So we'll just be going full speed one point and then just shit. Put the wolves back on charge.
You will be at this point aware of when the wolves will dissipate, so you take your breaks at those points.
Yeah, just
Okay.
like as they're about to dissipate, it's like, okay, pull it over the side.
Yeah, Jonathan gives a call. You guys move into the side, get ready, take a break, back up again, off you go. Because they
Okay.
last for a good few hours. They last for about 8 hours.
Well, I suppose we best get some watches going and just wait till morning. Just
Okay.
be aware of strangers approaching us.
Would you like me to put the sunblade? Oh no, I can't put the sunblade anywhere. Because it doesn't come to my hand. Never mind.
I
Just,
should take second watch.
I take
Yeah,
One will
we can
take
do that in
first.
I take
the
first and
final
last
dimension.
and
Fuck.
have a short rest in the middle.
I'll take first.
So we
I'll
got
take second with,
3.
Alistair.
With 3 people on first.
I'll take last then.
Okay.
Okay. So Dell and Grunt, Ali and Buckley, Shimmer and Grunt.
Shimmer and Dell.
Shimmer and Dell, sorry.
I only need 4 hours sleep, so
Yeah.
I go twice.
Come on, Alistair.
Hmm?
Come on, Alistair.
You should
What do
know
you think?
this by now.
She's an elf. Come on.
I know, that's. Yeah. I meant to say it and I just completely blanked over it. Shimmer and Grunt. Yeah,
I'm
there
gonna
you
throw.
go.
I'm gonna throw a
There you
few chariots or a few carts and all that on the other side for you.
go. I open fire. What? I thought he was throwing them at us.
Just for the sake of visualizing it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Stay close.
I scooch very close to her.
Not me, just the group
Oh.
in general.
I keep
Okay.
the sun sword open while we get camp set up, and then shit whenever it's time to go to bed. Or I could let people borrow my torchlight thing. Like, my god gave me this. Don't lose it.
There you go.
Oh, I was drawing a fire.
That's a better fire.
Yeah, it's a shit fire. To be honest, mate.
I used all my ranger stuff. I even had to communicate with a mouse to draw it for me. It doesn't have fingers.
Oh shit, they're multiplying. Fucking
And I'm losing control.
I could have been doing this while you guys were actually talking. That would have been a far better idea if I was actually smart.
Probably.
True.
Meh.
It's fine.
Gonna stay nice and far away from the fire. She's had enough heat for one day.
So remind me again what we're gonna do when we approach the front gate.
We're gonna keep our voices down for a start. Just in case anyone's around.
Yeah, obviously. Microphone. So, what exactly are we going to do?
Grunt's just taking out a note and says she's going to come up to the door, present the skull, and challenge them to glorious combat.
That's all well and
Right.
good for you, but what about the rest of us with the whole, getting the thing?
I'm thinking we should split up into parties. Oh, hello, it's Craig.
It's
Oh, hello.
probably about time I...
Excuse me, ma'am.
Well,
Didn't
Del
even-
does her roguey thing, and we sit there like we don't know what's happening.
That's why I'm thinking that we should go in parties. We should have like a sneaking one. We should have people that are going to show themselves in the arena and sort of act as some sort of distraction.
Okay, well, I've got my disguise kit, which is mostly war paint and stuff, but I
You're
could probably
difficult
make
to
it look-
disguise, Grunt. Don't mean to be offensive. You're a giant mountain of a woman.
Not for Grunt. She's thinking of making you look like you belong here.
Oh. Well,
Oh.
the thing is that if we are going to split up so we can do several things, I don't want people to be on their own.
Yeah, that would be
So-
preferable.
I'd rather go with Del because we can get through fairly unseen.
Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say about that was I'm the one that's gonna be locating the object.
You'd
You're
need
not
to come
very
with us.
quiet, though.
Unless you
Right,
chain.
Let's see. I had a spell here.
Unless you're going to T-pose and fly everywhere. Which I don't think you can do.
Ding, 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 ding.
No
ding,
noise.
ding.
D&D, the Bethesda edition.
I can do enhance ability, which will increase my stealth roll.
Cool. You could also cast Undress.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Ow,
I mean, I kinda use
Do you have Pass Without Trace?
That sounds like a fun spell.
I can't remember if I've still got that.
Could I spend some time before we call
Yes,
it
I do.
night to do a bit of disguise kittery on them and make them look the part?
They're gonna smudge it in their sleep. You have to do it in the
Yeah,
morning.
right. I'll do it in the morning.
I mean,
Okay, so me and Del are going to go sneaking with Buckley. So, Shimmer and Grunt, are you okay going to the arena and showing your stuff?
Grunt looks at Shimmer unsure, but she points to herself and just nods vigorously.
You can have
Depends on how
Mugmug
much
for
they pay
backup.
me.
That's a point, actually, Grunt. How does payment work?
Also,
She
we need
notes
to
that
find
she
a
was
way to
at the time,
not
but there are
have
paid
Negan.
gladiators.
or disguise
Potion?
me or something.
Oh, ooh, actually, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Didn't we have to cover this last time?
What was that?
wait, what?
He's a dragonborn.
Oh,
He's
shit,
a gold.
yes.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot almost entirely about
I
that.
think I remember the last time we did this, I just stayed in the cart with the cupboard, but we don't have that right now.
I'm gonna pull Shimmer away from the group for just a second.
Grunt starts sketching a concept disguise that makes him look a bit more like a lizard. A lizardman.
Lizardman. Mr. Lizardman.
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 Jacob Lizardman.
Lizardman.
With a U.
That's the equivalent of trying to make a Komodo dragon look like a crocodile.
Yeah.
Doesn't work all that well.
A bit more like a lizardman. I didn't say it would work. Well,
Make a
might help from a
disguise
distance.
kit check. We'll say that'll be your
Hang
intent.
on, I wanted to pull Shimmer away just for a minute.
Okay, you can do that.
intelligence.
It's unfortunate because Dragonborn tend to have horns, not frills, and lizard folk tend to have frills and not horns.
We'll say that Shimmer and Ali can be pulled away for the moment, and I
Oh.
think he's.
Oh, he's gone into a private conversation for
Yeah,
this.
I don't know if you want to join us, Das. You at least know what's going on.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Mystery!
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say
Ooh.
I could use Meld of Stone, so I'd be otherwise not seeable unless detected magically.
That could help because it's gonna be a Vax Vex Keyleth kind of thing going on in that. Two of us can stealth really well, and the other one not so much.
Right. And the thing of it is that I don't want to disrobe in the sense of I won't literally be able to do anything.
No, we don't want to remove your armor.
Yeah.
So
'Cause that's what Speaker was saying was like, you know, just take your armor off, but then I have nowhere to keep it.
yeah.
And to where I can really, you know, grab it. Because I can't really technically go, okay, you know, I'll use creation to make my, you know, make a bunch of, you know, wool and put it on my armor. Like, I can't really do that. You know, I can't soundproof my armor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was an idea, is melt into stone, and then I can continue to walk.
That sounds like a good one.
Just for, is it just a duration, or is it concentration? Or I guess it's just a thing. Like for 8
I need
hours,
to
I
read
can
the
just
full
melt.
description
Yeah, that's what I was
because
gonna.
the problem with this place is that currently there's mostly sand, which does not qualify as stone.
That's what I was gonna do, is read the actual thing. That's in the book.
Hello.
Oh yeah, because it's just an 8-hour duration.
Buckley.
I don't think you
Huh.
can move. Hi.
Okay, so we have a plan. It's a very good plan.
Yeah.
We're gonna skin Delmarva and use her as my face.
What?
Yes, that is completely
Yeah,
what
I
we were
can't-
talking about.
Very
Yeah,
funny.
No.
What's
I
the
can't
actual
meld,
plan?
Or I can't move while melding with stone, but I can basically meld, go underneath, or go into the stone, and then, you know, you can give like a 2-tap on the wall, and then, you know, I can come back out. But at the same time, I'm not really sure how well this area is for stone.
Buckley.
That may not work because if you have
Okay.
to meld into stone, it'll be because you've made a noise, and if you've made a noise, we have to leave, which means
Yeah.
we'll leave you melded into the stone.
Right.
Not that helpful.
That's what I figured.
So
Anyway, you were
you two
saying,
have
so-
worked out a plan.
Yes. What can you fabricate? I know we keep coming back to this spell, but weirdly enough, it is one of your fortes.
I can, as long as I have the raw materials, I can craft whatever. That is
Anything.
metal, stone, or other mineral.
Creatures or
substance,
magic
'cause I
items
am a
cannot
smith.
be transmuted
Yeah.
by this spell.
Yeah.
that's the only
So
thing. Is creatures
what
and
we were
magic,
think-
As long as it's not complicated design.
and it's within a larger,
Ooh.
smaller object.
I
Complicated.
wouldn't call that
design.
too complicated. What we
Well,
want.
no. The thing of it is if it's requires a high degree of craftsmanship, I can do it. If it's metal or, you know, stuff with smithing,
You would still have to
or
work
metalworking.
it.
Yeah.
technically,
He has
can
to
do
know,
it-
you know,
he-
has to know how
to
to
explain
use
it,
the
folks.
material.
To explain it to you folk, with fabricate, they cannot do something of a high degree of craftsmanship unless they're proficient. So he could work the metal
Yeah,
with
it could be metal
fabricate
or
to
leather.
make it in this particular way.
Because he's
Like
a
the fact
smith,
he
he can use metal very well.
Like, say, for
Sweet.
example, the fact that he could just snap his fingers and make a goddamn giant middle finger.
yeah, like
That was a bit simpler in design than what we had planned.
It's like if
So what
if
was-
he was proficient with leatherworking, then he could make some very intricate leather armor.
Well,
which
just
I
tell
am
us what you have in
proficient
mind,
with
and we'll
smithing
see.
and leatherworking.
Yeah, so we're going to dress up Shimmer in robes, but for his face, because it would be difficult to hide that amongst all else, could you make some kind of like ornate Oni demon styled dragon mask to put over his snout so it looks like a human wearing a normal mask that just happens to have an elongated front,
Ah, okay.
and he could be some
Do
sort of like, you
want
know,
it
dragon
out of
fighter.
gemstone, out of gold.
Not too fancy.
We're
I don't
trying not
have
to
that.
draw
Are
too
you
much
actually a
attention
dwarf?
to
Is that
us.
what you're admitting to here? You're actually a dwarf. You
Well,
just
no,
love
that's the
gems.
that's the raw materials that I have on me currently. Is gold, which is in my gold coins.
I think a
or-
gladiator turning up with the gemstone mask is going to look a little bit too noticeable.
At this point, because we're
Metals.
so close, we could probably take some small chunks out of the cart.
Then
Well, we can't have it out of wood. It might burn off or something. You want something that's going to last.
I
I
pull
mean,
out
I
some of
do-
the daggers that I've got then.
yeah, if you have
It,
spare
it
daggers,
really
like-
only
You
has
could
to
make-
last until we leave, but
You could make with a few daggers. You could say use the iron from them for it if you wanted a thin mask. This mask is not going to be functional in the degree of if it takes a blow, it's going to be obvious.
Oh
like,
yeah,
gonna
it's not a
crack.
helmet. It's a mask. We
Yeah,
just need
it's-
it to
You,
protect his
you're just
identity.
going to make. You're just going to like make a simple thin mask. You can definitely do it with say. I'll let you do it with 3 daggers.
Ooh, hang on.
Easy.
I have. This is going to be a complete waste of the fucking money that I spent on them. But I carry in my bag of holding 4 bear traps.
If you were to use all 4 bear traps, you can make a durable mask for him.
Do you know how big
Sweet.
bear traps are?
Okay, you could use one of them and it would fucking work.
Okay, yeah, do you want to use one of my bear traps then? This is the stupid. What did you use your bear trap for? To make a mask?
mask.
Because Buckley.
Yep.
The man who forgot he was a cleric.
I still love that.
Had to get hit by a pit fiend to remember.
Right, so I'm going to mark down 1 less bear trap.
Okay.
I now only
and
have 3.
Now Shimmer can now gain a durable iron mask.
And then I turn to Grunt, and I say, Grunt, do you want to get out some of your Crayolas and just start colouring it in a bit so it looks kind of cool?
I made the roll for that already, I would say.
It's
Yeah, that's
you can if you don't want to go too fancy, you can just make a simple kind of you're not doing Oni levels of a Japanese Oriental style mask. You can definitely, however, just do like a grimace to the face that is a simple but cruel looking design. You can make it look like it's a warrior trying to be intimidating.
How
But not
fancy
a
are we
terrifying
willing to go?
Not state of the art, but not state of the floor.
What do you think of bronze?
I feel like
Yeah,
steering
brown.
clear of metallic colours in general. Just keep it to plain colours. I'm
Fair.
Yeah, 'cause,
thinking.
I mean, like iron right now is more common for a gladiator to be able to get into an idea of. Because
Okay.
gladiators
Also-
aren't really super fancy.
It was just a
Yeah.
suggestion.
Grunt writes a note that warns that if you're wearing stuff over too much of your torso, you will be seen as a coward. You'll be allowed in, but you will be a coward.
Yeah.
Make a deception check.
Who?
Grunt.
Oh.
That's a load of shit.
Really?
You're just making stuff up.
What the fuck, Grunt?
We don't
Pretty
know
sure
that.
that
We've
is
got to
true
roll
of
for it first.
gladiators, but there you go.
Yeah, insight.
well, to be fair, there's a lot of gladiators who wear an iron helmet but don't wear anything on their chest.
Yeah, it was
it
pretty-
is up. Okay, professional gladiators go in wearing fucking armor because they're gladiators going in wearing fucking armor. It's a job. They're gonna make sure they can survive their job.
But
They're,
I
they're a
totally-
coward in Grunt's eyes.
I totally see through Grunt's words.
Fair enough.
Or through her writings.
It's less of Grunt trying to explain that people see it, and more like it. The way she describes it through her drawings and her mannerisms is that she sees it as weakness.
Right.
Is that cart in the top right a person in gallows?
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
saw that and
that's
I
what
was
I thought.
looking at it and I was just like,
I thought it was a biplane for a second.
I did think that from the zoom out.
I think it's a person shackled to a post or something.
Yeah. Can you just put him at the front of the other carriage, like rotating around? It'll look like a medieval version of Mad Max.
Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
blood bag.
that's definitely blood on the end of those.
Yeah,
and those are definitely hands.
Okay, so there's the Jesus mobile.
Oh, I know why he's on there. It's basically because he's the kind of one that you're supposed to go in and kill because he was just a right fucking dick of some sort.
The blood bag?
Or
Yeah.
a blood bag. Yeah.
They are the literal cannon fodder of the arena.
Nice.
The jobbers of gladiatorial time. Which
Ooh,
you could only
actually-
do once.
We've got more people here that we need to divvy up into the groups. So Mugmug's obviously going to go in with the fighters. Jonathan can assist us in animal form.
Ron's going to write a note to
I mean,
remind you that he
possibly.
can't guarantee the survival of anyone who goes into that arena with her.
Mugmug will be fine.
Jonathan can
Mugmug's good.
possibly assist us, but the more people that we have with the stealth group, the more risky it's getting.
He can read a lot of languages, he's very smart, and he can go more unseen than you, which I know is a weird thing to say, but he can literally turn into animals. He can be a mouse. No one's
He
going to
looks at
suspect
you
him.
all and just boop.
Yep.
As a little fly buzzes past your head.
There you go. If you keep him in your pocket, if you need him to go through cracks in the wall or something, you can literally just send him out and he can go through.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I also.
I mean,
could have-
currently we have 2 parties in stealth and arena, but I don't suppose anybody could guess away with being a spectator. It'd be nice if we had somebody who wasn't in the fray.
Althea.
Fear.
Althea could be a... Can Althea, can you communicate with people using divine magic or something? I don't know how your spells work.
No, I'm not one for. The best I could do is if I was in the spectator areas of the arena is if someone was about to get executed, I could try to jump down as a
Okay.
last ditch, throwing away everything. But
I'll tell you what then, if you go with Mugmug, then you two at least have got each other's back. You can watch each other. So you two can go into the stands and see what's happening, maybe pick up some information if
Do
you
we
know
want
it, if you
Shimmer
can
to
hear
go in
anything.
the stands? I mean, I know he's reasonably more, can hold his own, but at the end of the day, it's an arena.
I'm thinking
I
he'd be
can-
better in the arena itself because he'll be further away from people to see him up close. I feel like if he's moving amongst people, all it's going to take is for somebody to nudge him ever so slightly, the mask comes off, and then all of a sudden you've got a target in the middle of a busy street. At least in the arena, everyone's looking at him, but they're requesting him to get hurt.
To be fair, I also had to have a better chance of going, I should be here,
That's true.
than the rest of the party.
Someone who comes in dressed in a mask would look a bit out of place in the arena, like you'd just look like a fanboy with a foam finger.
Yeah.
I love the Dragon Knight. So cool. Scooter man.
It's good.
Okay, so are we okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
4 in the stealth party, 2
Make
spectators,
sure
and 2
that
gladiators.
nobody's been watching or listening to us.
Yeah.
No
Sure,
survivors.
I will allow Alistair and Delmara to make perception checks.
Please
Give
let
me
me roll
a
double
Please
digits.
roll higher. That is higher, thank you.
That's better. There we go. Ali and Del are back. Now we're just paranoid as fuck. Who that?
Rogan Ranger, Rogan Ranger.
Perceive everything.
I see too
What
much.
did you see?
I see
Tell
too
me your
much.
secrets.
Your elf eyes.
Your elf eyes. What did they see?
Beautiful green elf eyes.
I do.
I mean, I can also do silence.
You guys see nothing. You peer out into the blackness of the night, and no one seems to have come close to you.
Oh, actually,
Okay. Silence is not bad because the whole reason you can't be very stealthy is because your armor goes clang.
well, I was just about to say, I can spend time before I go to sleep and make me set, but hold on.
Well, you're thinking of making yourself a backup armor that's stealthier, so you at least keep some armor class. There's a lot of effort to go into.
Yeah, that's
Tactic
let's see.
You didn't realise how much of a bad decision it was to let Neroin change character, did you, Daz? You've given him the curse of choice.
Well, see, here's the thing. He saved your fuckers' asses.
You saved my ass more times than I'd care
He's,
to admit.
he's probably saved most of us the most.
Okay, oh yeah, you conduct an hour-long ritual that crafts a non-magical item that must require some metal. Right, okay, so it must require some metal.
I mean, I have more bear traps, but there's only so much metal that's on a bear trap.
Well, it's more so like, I could say I make some leather armor, it has, some metal trim. It technically has some metal.
Okay.
Then you're getting into technicalities.
Yeah, no, you still need the leather part for the leather. I mean, I could kill something that's around here, but I don't. It's a desert. You don't get a lot of.
I'm going to say that you're not going to be able to make armor that will be stealthy with your forge skills.
Yeah.
You forge armor. You don't skin and tan and do all that with
Oh
armor.
yeah, there's. I mean, well yeah, because you can't make a breastplate because
I think
it's.
the silence option might be our best bet.
Yeah, if you just remove your armor, we're looking to not get into a fight, and if we
No,
do get into
we
a
don't
fight,
want him to remove his armor in case it goes wrong. He knows he can cast silence.
I can cast silence, but that silence is literally everything. So if somebody's seen us and they're shouting for the guards, if they're outside of our silent bubble, we're going to be like, "We're totally good, guys. No one's seen us," and there's going to be alarms and bells and shit going off around us, and we won't have a
don't
clue.
want him walking around without armor. That's just going to be dangerous.
Has anyone
It's
got...
only dangerous until you get caught.
That's the bit I'm worried about.
Yes, I was gonna say, is there any way I could somehow remove my disadvantage, but probably not.
Shimmer, do you know mage armor?
Fortunately, not. No.
I don't.
That's going to be a ritual. That's going to be a spell in and of itself to do it.
Hang on.
Because it doesn't work on me.
Hold on a second. We're going into a town full of merchants. Surely we should be able to buy some armor from somebody just before we head in properly.
I mean, there are dozens of merchant carts out here.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, there's loads of merchants around us. Surely we can approach somebody and just be like, "Hi,
Yeah.
you got any of this?"
Well, we're willing to maybe lose, 1 or 2 armor, but to just lose all of his armor is a bit risky.
Yeah.
What does
Let's
it you
have
have
a look.
currently?
Plate.
Currently I have plate, so I have an 18.
If we could find a breastplate off somebody.
Yeah,
that's
breastplate.
Okay. Shall I go with Buckley and we'll see if we can pick some up just quickly in the night? Just see if anybody around has got any.
Yeah, it
Go
doesn't
on
need
ahead
to
and
look
make
good,
an
it just has to be
investigation.
functional.
Are you going to try and steal, or are you going to try and buy?
No,
No.
buy.
What the fuck is your problem, Daz?
Dell, go and steal
Almost
us
like
some
you have
armor.
Almost like you have a thief.
Well, yes, we're
Um,
just going to shoot ourselves in the foot before we even begin.
He is the DM.
Like,
It's his job to
what the
give us
fuck?
that option.
I have to present it. Doesn't mean you have to take it.
Buckley, how
just get-
smart are you?
I'm just doing the thing that they do in,
very
primary
actually. I have
school, where it's
18
just
wisdom.
like you tuck your hands under your arms so that you're not doing anything bad. It's like, nope, not stealing anything, definitely not.
Yeah, I got an 18
Gonna
wisdom
stay
and a
right
12
here.
I feel like that just answered my question.
As we're
Buckley,
sitting here
how
waiting,
smart are you? I have an 18 wisdom.
Well, yeah, I'm very wise.
Oh boy.
Intelligence-wise, I'm 12.
Okay, so I'm shit because I really didn't want to go into this with a +2, but all right, I'm gonna make an investigation check to find a
With
seller.
Buckley's aid, I'll give you advantage.
Yay!
I'm gonna start cooking dinner.
Dinner time.
Nice.
Okay.
As Das rolls some numbers behind the screen to say, what the fuck are these guys planning?
Well, technically, I'm rolling them in front of my screen.
True.
Just out of our
Peripheral.
So, Das, what did your players do when they were about to go to the big fight? Well, they went and looked for some crappier armor because they didn't feel it was challenging enough, apparently. Your party's not very smart, are they? No.
Alistair and Buckley, you guys are moving through. And as you move, like say, you don't say move directly into them, but after a while, you like say move down about 200, 300 paces, and it is essentially like the start before a convention in the equivalent of how many transports are out and about. And you do actually end up seeing a few that have actually decided to set up for the evening to actually try to make some coin on the way in.
Oh, fair enough.
At one point as well, you hear as you're passing, you're just looking about, you hear a deep laughter. Oh, look who it is, it's my friends. And you see the very tall, very large fellow who was inside New Grove, who had offered things to you, such as Delmara's bandolier.
Yes.
The one that she doesn't use, but, you know.
I have used
She has it.
Yeah, she has been.
I have used it. I used it in the fight we just had. Threw daggers at people.
We just had a cart ride, not a fight.
Session before.
Luckily, do you have all of the mercantile feats and shit?
Feats wise, no, I don't have those anymore.
What?
But I'm still good.
Shit. Okay, because I don't know who's gonna. Do you want to spearhead this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'll be your glamorous assistant.
Okay. So.
I'll give him my smile from my good side.
Not that side. The other side.
How you do, good fellow? And put an arm out.
It's good to see you again. And he just shakes a hand with you, and then you realize that his mitts are about twice the size of you. He's just whack. It's like, oh shit, he's big.
Hey.
This is a half-orc fellow, isn't it, from New Grove?
This isn't the half-orc, no. This was just a trader who had gear. But he had like multiple really interesting pieces, but they were all expensive.
Oh, shit.
It's fine. It's fine.
So,
Quickly
you look
checks
like
wallet.
two people who are out to find something. So what do you need?
Well, you wouldn't happen to have a breastplate? You know, not even, you know, fancy. Just regular
He
old
pings
breastplate.
your plate and goes, why would you ever need a breastplate?
Oh, not for me. Not for me. I'm just the merchant.
Make a deception check. You're playing at someone who's been at this for years.
Roll high, Buckley. Please
You're
roll
literally
high.
dealing with the vendor out of Dota. He looks at you and goes, why do you need breastplate?
Why does he need to know?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
You don't need it. You have this perfectly good armor here.
I mean, yes, this is perfectly good armor. But you know, I've been trying to sneak up on some creatures here and there. I don't have any range myself, so.
It is a matter of stealth that is
Yes.
your issue.
Something a little less noisy for moving about.
Well, I
yeah,
couldn't
it's-
give them something less noisy, but he reaches down, and you hear what is the equivalent of Mary Poppins rummaging through that damn bag.
An umbrella.
No, two beautifully crafted green, almost slippers.
Hey.
I know what that
How the hell are slippers going to help?
well, in terms of magically, like, would I happen to know an idea?
You are not aware of what these do.
Right. Okay.
One person who may know is Damara, but
But she's
not
not here.
here.
Cool.
I'd know what they are.
I mean, I know out of character.
These slippers, while they do not say negate the issues of heavier armor and the constant clanging of it, they have been known to grant people who wear them more capabilities when it comes to stealth. They find themselves able to sneak that a little bit easier.
Real quick, out of character. Dash is just doing this for me to get rid of my boots, wing boots. That's literally why he's doing this.
I am somewhat for this. They can be distributed amongst the party. Oh fuck, we're gonna get our own Vaxel down, aren't we?
Yes!
Yeah.
No, I'm
Dibs!
there. I'm
Dibs!
the dibs them. I was the one who fell off the mountain.
Dibs!
I mean,
What you're
most
saying
likely to be
is
honest, because
I
I'm
could turn
possibly
into the
thinking about
burp.
trading boots in.
Oh, you're looking to trade?
I mean, it depends if
No.
it's worth the.
Don't
If
trade
it's,
them.
you
Well,
know,
what are you willing to trade?
How much are they? If they do what
Well-
I'm gonna insight check him.
That's a smart boy.
Hey.
Yeah, I was gonna say first move.
I am not good at this, but I'm gonna insight check him.
I mean, I have a +8, but
Okay, well, why didn't you? Speak
I was
If you have a
about to.
+8, then you should incite people.
Well, again, I was about to, but then Spook was like, "I take the initiative." It's
I'll
fine.
say you can try to
Okay.
insight as well. But in future,
Fair.
check first.
I would have loved it if he'd have just rolled a 1 then and just.
I
like,
know.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
was like, please, please,
I-
please.
One,
It's fine.
you know, so at a 9,
Um.
natural.
So, Alistair, he's got a smile to him that's endearing enough, but also offsetting, because it's almost that crumble bottom level of a "I've got something," and it's a offsetting you kind of smile of has something in the back pocket.
It's either you want this or I want you to have this, and it's can't really tell.
Buckley, you can tell he's truthful in the fact that this will do what he says, and he's actually quite interested in what you're willing to offer.
Right. I have money, but I want to know roughly how much we're talking here.
Oh, for these, for a late night, it's just a quick buck more than anything. This would probably be about 2,500 gold pieces.
That is somewhat out of our price range, Buckley.
Yeah, I
But
don't
what
know
would
if
you be willing to offer? You mentioned trading something in.
I mean,
I'm listening.
do you
Shit.
happen to know what winged boots are?
He looks over at you and goes, "Oh,
Yeah, you know, I haven't had enough here.
no. For the sake of fairness, this would not be a fair trade on your part."
Sorry, what did you offer him, Buckley? I was reading through my
I
stuff.
was saying about my winged boots.
No, we
Yeah.
we would like to keep them.
Yes, I understand that. I understand that, friend. Just give me a goddamn minute. Fuck. Anyway. Now,
I'm
to be
glad
honest,
I didn't go because I think I would have had an aneurysm at this point, or possibly murder.
To be honest, I do not want to give the winged boots up because they are a family heirloom.
I
do
step
have a-
forwards and offer him the dragons. No, don't do that.
I pull out the one +1 hand axe. I mean, I also have this axe. Probably not really a fan of.
Picks it up, looks at it. It's good weight to it. And he's like flips it. He snaps his fingers, and there's like an arcane shimmer around it, and his eyes flare, and it just catches it again. Not a bad axe. I'd say this would offset about 750 gold towards
Damn.
those boots.
Okay.
That's pretty goddamn nice.
Let me sweeten the deal then, because I've had this for a while. I'm going to take out the dwarven thrower. I've had this with me for a while. I haven't
He-
used it as much as I thought I would.
You mean the
he-
dwarven thrower, which is
He picks it up, looks at it, and just like immediately pushes back the hand axe. These are very rare. And he doesn't even seem to perform a spell on it. He just seems to recognize it immediately. And I want you both to give me insight checks.
Okay. 11.
Oh, fuck's sake.
It's not difficult because he seems to be unable in this moment to veil it properly. He wants this. There's that
If I remember
immediate,
correctly
like,
from what it did-
wide-eyed.
Wasn't
oh
it?
no, I know what these do. I know exactly what these do.
Well,
And I
just out of
have someone
character-
who would love to buy one of these off of me.
just out of character. I'm pretty sure that was oh no, that was in the guild hall, and he said just go ahead and take it. 'Cause
Yeah.
He didn't care about it anymore because of one of his party members. It was his weapon.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, and they're dead. So okay, yeah, never mind. Go ahead, Sel.
This was the thing that was meant to be good against giants, I believe. A weapon that was good against giants.
This weapon is specifically for dwarves, or
Yeah,
those
yes.
who wear rebuilt of dwarven kind. When thrown, it is a very powerful tool for damage, but also then immediately returns to the wielder's hand, allowing for multiple strikes of it within the same short span of moments.
Hmm.
Right.
This would be an unfair trade for the just. Those.
Then what else have you got? Sorry,
Yeah, to be honest-
what else have you got with my good smile side?
Well, you smiled on your good side the other way last time, so that was your bad smile that time.
I imagine
did
that
this
when he
last
came
time,
at
and
me,
now
he
you
came
did
and
this
hit me
this
like
time.
this side, so I need to be doing this in the future. This is my good side.
Yeah.
Well, I offered this before on the table for you all, and at the time you didn't seem to have the value of it, but... And he reaches down underneath the table, like underneath his table, pulls up a belt, lays it across, with a heavy stone face on the front of it.
Oh, there's a stone giant. And I have the hill.
I would have no idea what the hell this was.
I mean, I would figure it'd be similar to what I had, right? Except hill is stronger than
No.
stone is stronger than hill.
Stone is far stronger
Hill,
than
hill
him.
is the lowest.
Yeah, hill is the lowest.
Yeah, this is essentially, you can look in comparison that it is essentially the same as yours, but more powerful.
Right.
As you look at it and you recognize that it's essentially, you know that yours is based on the design of a hill giant. This is
Yeah.
designed on the face of another former giant, and any giant is stronger than a hill giant.
I didn't realize you had a belt of hill giant strength.
Yeah, that's why I have a 25 in my strength.
We got it from
21
the
in my
dragon.
strength.
Oh wow, and I
Yeah.
must have blanked that out at some point. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll just rip the iron bars off
Yeah.
this, in the.
We realised what it was when I was carrying it and I went to slap you on the back of the chest and almost knocked you
Oh,
halfway across the
yeah.
cave and we all went,
What?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a really good trade then.
I mean, to be honest, do we really need like?
Wait a
two-
s- hang on, we did the
two
insight
belts?
check. Fuck.
You've already done your insight check.
Yeah.
I've already done the insight check. I'm not smart enough to be able to because I don't really know what this is. I'm not smart enough to calculate how much this would be worth. So
No.
Buckley,
You-
I'm going off of your on this one.
Buckley, I would say you could make a flat intelligence check to try and get a rough price of this.
So just quicken the intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
18.
Ah, very good.
So there's the first thought of this is a 2-for-1. So there's two things you're getting for one, which is always a better value,
Right.
especially when the effects are not reliant on each other.
Yeah.
But the thought is occurring to you that both of these are far more useful than something that you cannot currently use.
Right.
As he's explained,
Hmm.
that is something that only a dwarf can use. You ain't got a dwarf.
Or a
sort
belt of
of,
dwarven kind.
You do
kind,
not
yeah.
know.
So, what do you think? Seem reasonable?
It does seem reasonable. Yes.
Otherwise, the dwarven hammer, I suppose, is just going to sit in my bag
Yeah.
till the end
uh,
of time.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the two items he's putting on the table here for your dwarven thrower is very, very good deal, actually.
Should we shake on it?
And he offers out a hand.
I put my hand right to it.
Yep, he shakes. It is a very tight grip. He shakes. It's almost like a whip of your damn arm. And he pulls away the dwarven thrower, puts it away underneath his counter, and pushes over the two items for you. So mark down that you have a belt of stone giant strength and boots of elven kind. God, don't give that to Telmara.
Before we leave, I say, because we've had a meeting before, I feel like we're getting to know each other. What was your name, sorry?
I didn't give it.
Yeah.
May I have it now?
Good night.
Okay. You have a good one now.
Oh, he's so mysterious. I take a good look at his face.
It is a very simple. He's a very simple-looking man. He's got a bit of a bigger nose to the end of it. His head is it's kind of more like, not ball pin, but it's definitely, I say he's wider in his jaws. He's like a heavier man at the jaw than he is his head, top of his head. He's a very built man. He's very large, and he seems like he's got some sort of giant ancestry, just for the sheer his bulk. He's not, say, like Mug or Grunt, and Grunt is like a mountain of a woman, and Mug's based on an ogre more than anything. But he seems like he has some. He's more like Hagrid. Hagrid without the hair.
Maybe some sort of. It's all sorts of
So,
things. I check over his cart. Is there any kind of logos, or does there appear to be any sort of name or something on there that might be able to recognise in the future?
Sure, make an investigation check.
And as he's
I wish I was better at all these things.
as he's doing this, I'm going to take my winged boots off, put the boots of Elmakan, take the hill giant belt off, and put the stone giant belt on.
So you're just upgrading yourself and not giving
Yep.
anything to the party.
Oh no,
Well-
I'm happy to give like the winged boots to anybody, or the hill giant belt to anybody. Like even like Grunt. Grunt
I
can then
think
just
Grunt
lift
with
the
the hill
fucking
giants.
truck.
I think Grunt with Hill Giant's strength would be amazing. And I'm
Okay.
actually thinking of giving Core the boots, give him some
Yeah.
maneuverability on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's a.
Doesn't
I've
Hill
got
Giant
range.
Strength just give you a set number, which I probably already have?
25.
Hill Giant gives you 21.
21,
Stone
sorry.
Giant gives you
Okay.
20. Hill Giant gives you. Stone Giant gives you 23. Hill Giant gives you 21.
Sweet.
Something. It's an improvement, isn't it, Grunt?
Yeah, I'm on 18. I just
Yeah,
couldn't
there you
remember
go.
the numbers.
So yeah, +2 there. Then you got 5.
Okay, we'll give him that when we get back then. But anyway, 20 investigation.
There aren't any logos or anything like that.
He deliberately travels incognito.
Oh, nice. Oh god,
But
no.
as you're
You put the boots on and you. You don't learn, do you, Buckley? You don't learn.
What are you talking about?
But what you do see, Alistair, as you're looking around, is that when he's
No,
moving,
I
at
have-
one point you see his wrist, and you see on his wrist there's actually branded in gold. You see the name Aridas, Aridas. Aridas. And I will give an image of him in Blood and Sand chat.
Oh.
I'm literally using the shopkeeper from Dota 2 and no one can stop me.
Nah.
But, yeah, I mean, figured it'd be fine. I won't run off this time.
Gabe Newell won't sue me.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah.
Gabe Newell's watching me. Okay, he smiles and bids you both a good night as you walk up.
Okay, we get back to camp.
As you are moving back to camp, both of you hear over here, and you hear it like as if it's coming out of your left ear, and you turn, and there's just a little bit of a shadow that then ups into a actual shop bench, like in a marketplace sort of thing. And from seemingly nowhere, two very large men appear on either side of it, and there is a very familiar set of hands that leans out over the
Oh my God,
counter.
lag.
Familiar to who?
Yeah. Well,
Buckley.
The extra
Buckley-
dimension?
No, Buckley has made dealings with her before.
The hag! Yes! Dimensions cross!
My dear, don't insult me like that.
I'm sorry.
A crone is a far more appropriate term.
A crone, yes. My bad. That is my
do
sincere.
you know this woman?
Yes, she's a purveyor of fine magical items.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember what I got from her previously.
I suppose
Things
it
were
was-
gotten. Things were gotten. Whether or not you remember is not my problem.
I remember what I gave her.
I was gonna say I've not had any interactions with this person. That
No,
I
you
saw
have
from.
not.
Okay, yeah.
I believe someone got a crown off her,
I think that was Buckley.
or a circlet.
I think Buckley got a
Yeah,
circlet.
you got a circlet off her. I
I think
believe.
Buckley got a circlet, and I was with him, so I helped him with the transaction. Because I gave her something, but I don't think I received anything. So I think
Yeah,
Is
what
this
did
the
you-
lady that they gave the raven's feather to?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think I used
Okay.
it to help with
And-
Buckley's transaction.
Yeah,
because
I'm
it was a
very
circlet of
right.
something.
The one that kept
Yeah.
that kept bartering up and offering you more and more things, was it?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember this. Okay, go on then.
That was the
I'll bite.
circlet of you can't hurt me or something like that.
I'll bite.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I gave that to somebody in the party, because then I gotten something else.
Hmm.
Or I used it as a thing.
You're far away from the coast, dearies, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Just doing
And
some
Buckley,
recovery
as
here.
you are talking to her, you also do see behind her in the essentially what's in the shop area of her. You do see just a but it's like this large pulsing thing that's about behind her, about 5 feet, and it's nearly as big as her
Oh my god,
torso.
Daz. Why? Why do you cross the realms? Why?
This bitch takes everything she can get.
She gets half of it off Kirok.
Alistair, you see a large creature's heart behind her still pulsing.
Yeah, out of character, I know what it is, because, hey, Roman just gave it to her 2 days ago. God damn it.
I know we're going to a coliseum, but really, Roman?
I mean, that was out of character, but... Yeah, anyway.
You're far
So,
away
how
from
are
the
you then?
coast, dearies. Oh, I'm quite well. My business has been booming. I've made some lovely trades recently. I'm
Anything
quite
that would
curious.
interest us.
Oh, it's been mostly the reagents I've been receiving. If you'd like, I could make something for you.
And what would you be able to make?
How close are you guys to her?
After saying that, we are immediately 500 feet away.
I'd say probably like...
I'd say
like
10,
5
15
from her.
feet.
Or 10, 15, yeah.
Both of you make
Because it would be, because
both of you make strength saves with disadvantage.
Fuck.
Has that belt kicked in yet?
Nope.
Strength, saving,
No,
throw.
it'd still be 21, so, yeah.
With disadvantage.
Crap.
They're
Yeah,
about
you
to get
said
dragged to the thing, aren't they?
Shit.
You both feel like as if there's a hand gently pushing against your back, and you both go towards it, and your hands fall on top of the counter, and she just puts a hand over both of yours. And her hand is quite large. It can easily cover over both of yours, and her nails are about like 5 inches long.
I'll make a
And she just
mental
looks at
note
you both.
to never go shopping with Buckley again.
She smiles to both of you. Oh, you're up to a lot of mischief, aren't you, little? You've plans in the city.
Yeah.
Fortune teller.
That and much more.
Yeah,
That and much more.
A fortune changer.
Depending on what is given. I've been changing many faces lately. I could do something for you too if you'd like.
I have been dabbling in the otherworldly patron business recently, so
Oh, I could tell.
I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay. Yeah.
You're
Okay.
choosing, choosing the safe options though. It's a bit boring. There's far more exciting things there for you.
Probably, but I've had somewhat of an interesting life. I like to play it safe from time to time.
That's fair. But of all the
Puberty was a
things I
bitch.
say,
Okay.
I might recall about what happened 1,000 years ago for me. So, you may notice there's something behind me. I could distill something for you. A bit of an assistant. Either something to aid one of your own, or cut the ankle of the giant, as it were.
Oh dear God.
But only a nick. Small.
Of course, yeah.
But poison has
Insert.
wonderful effects. Go a fucking head.
I will make pointless attempts because it makes me feel better.
Just
still
like
feel
rolling
better.
dice.
See, I would have laughed if it was like natural 20.
Yeah.
That
No.
would have been fun. Because
Yeah.
he'd have had to have immediately re-rolled it.
Ooh. Dealing with some powerful, mysterious merchant.
Oh yeah, no, like
Note to self: never go shopping. We stick to harvest festivals,
dude,
and that's it.
I mean, it's good.
I mean,
shopping.
what happened in the last Harvest Festival you were at? You know,
Yeah,
fair.
we had demons and all that.
Ratman.
Well, I weren't invited.
Well, Alistair. She seems like a lovely old granny.
Call bullshit on that to begin with.
The way she's presenting herself, as much as it may be in that way of, you could definitely see the connotations of mischief or threat. You're not really getting that vibe. It's more like there's just a sincerity to her. If
You
you
are a
wanted to
fortune-
come back, well, Would you like your fortune told?
Yeah, if you can see into the future. I'm not really up on these sorts of things. I've not spent a lot of time around fortune tellers or gypsy kin.
For fortune telling, I require the simple charge of a gold.
Charge of a what, sorry?
Gold
One
piece.
gold piece.
Done.
And she just takes it and moves it across. And as she moves it across, her nail just digs into the desk. And you can see now there's dozens of marks, hundreds of marks across the desk itself. And she just begins moving her finger across all of them. And her hand just like clutches out towards yours and moves it. So your palm's facing upward on the table. Runs her fingers across it. And
Does it
runs it
tickle?
across. No. If not for the fact that you can tell it's like a cat that has control over its talon. It could claw you very easily, but it is just the blunt side over it being run across, and it runs off of where your hand marks move onto actual marks on the table which match it, as if it was made to match up to them, and moving across over as her eyes have just gleamed over into this almost star-like appearance. A hero of old, a fable, a reality, guidance, misguidance, trust that has been earned, trust that may be lost, aid in the most unlikely of places, doom, fight against the tide rather than swim with it. That is all I can give.
I'm not good with riddles. Do you speak in common?
That is what I'm able to discern from it. I see images, I see futures, I see emotion across the stars, and I can portray with just words, but they're only specific words. It's
Okay, Alistair.
not the most clear of things.
Okay, Alistair. The next time we're at the ocean, go against the tide. Don't go with it. Don't come back to the let's go right against it. I think that's what she means.
I'm a fairly good swimmer, and the last time I came close to water, we killed a pirate that didn't die.
Right.
That sounds interesting. What was his
Yeah,
name?
Bedsheet? No.
No. Scraggletooth? No.
Double bed? No.
Shit.
Bunk bed? No. Oh, friggin' hell. Thingy lion. Net? Web? No. Spider-Man?
Bomb-ass?
No. Hammock! That was it.
Yeah, hammock. Yeah, there you
Make insight checks, both of you.
Can I not make a survival check to try and live?
You keep opening your mouth, so no, you lose
go.
that right.
Hey, we're good.
Did you say that? Yeah, fucking know.
You don't know her bonuses.
I was gonna say.
Thankfully, she rolled a 3,
Oh my god.
so she only has a 17.
She's got more of an
Um,
advantage than my bow.
This isn't even what she's expertise in.
Oh dear god.
I go shopping with you.
There's this moment where her smile just creases over into a very, very just like, it's that moment of,
No.
where it goes from that very slight smile into a almost teeth-baring, Interesting. Very interesting.
My sword
we
can be
starts smoking
all-
for some reason. It's like,
Anyway, that's all you really have with me then. For tonight, anyway. If you want, I'm going to be working. If you had the reagents or gold to match my costs, come back here tomorrow. And I can give you something to rise someone to the strength of a dragon or bring a dragon to its knees. What would you ever need something like that for?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
This is all hypothetical.
Yeah. It's of
Theories.
course.
Good night.
Alright. Have a good one.
Bum, 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 bum.
Okay,
I'm just
Alistair.
gonna
Let's go.
quickly check my pockets to make sure that while we've been talking, we haven't been hoodwinked by the two larger gentlemen.
If those two lads moved, there'd be more of a stomp than a fucking subtle. These
Okay.
guys, these
No,
guys
we're out, so
exist.
it's all good.
These guys
I know
exist.
bugbears, and bugbears are stealthy big bastards. Just
not
concerned.
Sure. Check your pockets.
Everything's in order.
Everything's in order. But what you do notice is that when you're walking away, those guys do move, and it is like you'd expect stomp, 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 because these guys are 10 foot.
Yeah.
10 foot and about 7 foot wide. They're damn near the size of golems. It's like padded cats.
Uber bugbears.
Yep.
I put my arm around Buckley's shoulder and I walk with a brisk pace so as to not be called by any other merchants.
Because I mean,
No,
I'm having to bend
move,
down to
run.
do this.
Move with haste.
Again, I would have to bend down for you to put your arm around
I
my
will
shoulder.
put my hand on his arse and squeeze very hard and push him down the road. Move!
Alright, yeah, cool. Awesome.
You sound very panicked, darling.
Yeah. What's your problem? I've had
Had
Wonderful
nothing
business
but
that-
good times with this
that
pleasant
crone.
lady.
I've had
Don't
plenty
know
of good
what
times
your
with that
problem
crone,
is.
and she's
Feel like
amazing.
I have been molested.
Alistair,
I've yet to experience
Alistair would get
it.
along with Alistair would get along with Glory quite well.
Okay, so
We arrive
we
back
get
at the camp.
and actually on the way there, I will ask him. Okay, so do you think we should do the dragon strength potion or whatever she was talking about, or the poison? I think she said.
Part of
I
me
mean,
wishes to have absolutely nothing to do with the woman.
Or plan C, yeah, just nothing. Or option C, which is nothing.
The problem I've got at the moment is we're limited in our options to deal with it, but I'm very, very reluctant to involve a third party in case we get the carpet, the floorboards, and the basement pulled out from under our feet and fall into the void. That's my concern. We could be taking a problem and making it a really serious issue. Or she
That's
could
why we
be
have good
the
fun.
or she could be the only solution. So we'll see how things go. The option is there, and we'll play it by ear. Maybe take Shimmer with us next time, who might get a better read on her. I don't know.
So in the time, well, no, it probably wouldn't be in the time that we get back to the camp. I'd be able to attune to stuff.
Yeah, in the
Oh, no.
30-second walk.
Yeah. It's like,
Can I have my strength, please,
It's
DM?
less of a 30-second walk and more of a 30-second sprint.
Just oh, okay. You really got
It's like them power walking where your crotch gets like a foot closer to the ground and you take long strides so as no one can kind of stop you.
Hmm.
We're leaving now.
Get back to camp.
Okay. As they return to camp, Buckley has essentially like he's just won the fucking WWE title over his shoulder.
It's a belt that goes from like nipple to knee.
I mean,
Yes,
that's not what you went for. What is that?
This is an extra piece.
We kind of got an
Uh,
upgrade.
So you know that dwarven thrower thing that we got in the guild hall that Alistair took?
The old
Vaguely.
Warhammer that I found in the guild hall
Yeah,
that I never
Warhammer.
used.
Yeah, vaguely.
Anyway, we gave it to a guy for some stuff. They said it'd be too far, or it'd be a bad trade on our end. So he said he'd give us an extra item, and so I have a
Stuff?
belt.
We got this,
Show
Which I-
boots.
which I think this belt is just a better version of the belt you had before.
Yes, this is just a better belt than I have now. Go on.
As you point at the boots, Dalmara's eyes does the thing that cat's eyes do, where it's just.
No, mine. No, you can have the wing ones.
Sure.
I take.
I actually think that Shimmer would do better with the winged ones.
You said it
Or-
first.
I'm
Thank you.
No.
Or here,
You've got
here, no,
enough
you
magical
can have the Hill
items.
Giant strength belt. How about that?
I would appreciate strength.
Yeah,
So
there you
now
go.
we're going to have the rogue that's going to be one of the strongest and healthiest. And the most dex. Like this. I feel like this is putting all the eggs in one basket.
You don't have
Give
the
it to
most
Grunt. He
dex.
uses strength on a regular basis.
That's fair. Grunt, would you like this belt?
Hmm?
He rolls
Grunt
Moves
over.
her hand.
Eating
Basically
something
has
so
half-
small?
The steak is
That's
halfway
that's
through
literally
now.
her response. She's like, hmm?
Was the stake in the mouth. Oh.
I'm just gonna take the belt and just wrap it around her as much as I can.
It actually stretches to fit.
Yeah. Okay. So I give the winged boots to I don't want to get rid of the boots.
Those are your natty
I give
100.
the winged boots to Shimmer. God damn it.
He doesn't let go at first, just like keeps holding on. Like, what if I grow more feet?
What if I put one of each on?
So remind me how much. This is the
You now
belt
have
Hill
20
Giant strength.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
the
21.
strength of hill giant? Yeah,
Is
that's
it Hill
right.
Giant?
Giant is 21. You have
Yeah,
21.
stone giant's 23.
And I reluctantly also give the Hell Giant strength, but then realize, oh yeah, I have another belt, so it's fine. To Grunt.
He's just gonna slowly
Or
keep
so.
ascending until he eventually gets to Storm Giant and then
I'm
gets
never giving you
killed.
fucking stone
Yeah.
giants.
And
I'm
then
I'm never.
I slip on my boots of the Elven kind, and then put on my belt of Hell Giant strength, or Stone Giant strength.
So
and go to
Blue,
sleep.
do you want to play Shimmer for a while?
I already am. A sorcerer that can fly and cast death
Yeah.
from above. I'm good. I'm already doing it every Wednesday.
That's why I'm thinking Core would do well with it because he can have line of sight on everything.
Yeah.
Literally rain fire on everything.
Yeah.
He becomes Tony Stark.
Yeah, because Core, you have spell sniper, don't you? Right?
Nope.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
He probably will do soon.
Yeah.
I have to attune to the belt, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this was meant to be just before our long rest, wasn't it?
Yeah, you
We
guys
haven't
can
even started
definitely.
doing watches yet.
Yeah, you guys can definitely attune.
During the long rest.
Okay, well, let's go into the long rest then.
Oh,
Any
actually,
role
no.
playing anyone's doing?
I was probably gonna talk to you more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
about
we're
nature.
going to be on watch together. But who's first watch again? Dell and Grunt.
I am. Yep.
Yeah, don't Grunt.
Pair of
I have
us.
subtle spell and quick spell, so
Oh God, double fireball from above.
Oh god, yeah.
I've done that
Justice
before.
reigns from above.
I've done that before.
Taste my fiery hot balls.
All over your face.
Okay, so first watch.
Who's at it?
Me and Grunt.
I will run to the bathroom super quick.
Sure. We'll say for the sake of this, there will be 3 perception checks made, 1 for each watch.
Okay.
So, who would like to make the first perception check from the first watch?
Guessing the
I imagine
person
your
with
perception's better.
I'm guessing the person with plus 10.
I just gotta make sure I always give the option.
It's true, it's true. Watch me roll a 1.
Make a
Grunt
perception.
should do it because he's in his favourite terrain.
I see the night.
It's dark.
Attack the dark.
Or it was an 18, god.
Yeah, that's great.
I almost got
Not
a
even
I
that
almost got a 30, guys. I almost
Don't
got
steal
a
my jokes,
30.
Nemo.
I've already breached that 30 barrier with my bow.
I hit 30 with stealth quite a while ago.
Attack it. You only want one of us to roll.
Yes. So, Delmara, during your watch, you keep your eyes fixed on the shadows around you, keeping your back turned at times from the fire to make sure that you know the light of it does not impede your elvish dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching out over the other camps. You're hearing their roars, laughter. It's more like distant murmurings than anything from the nearest crowds. Feel a chill like just crawl down your spine, and it's literally like someone stepping over your grave almost.
Ugh.
That sort of mentality. After that, come back, dice.
This is why we use roll 20.
Even the dice are running away.
I know, it's terrifying.
Nope. You don't see anything. But you do get that chill, and Suddenly everything feels a little bit warmer. Like for a while there was like a little bit of a cold that clung, but kind of gone. Weird. That's your watch. Who's up for the next watch?
Me and Alistair.
Hello.
Who would like to make the perception check? Because here I actually have to ask because you both got fucking wisdom out the butt.
I have 12.
Okay, I was gonna say me, but I've got a 7.
I mean, passively, I just have 22.
Okay, never
You have
mind.
to make a check.
I know. I understand. Making a check. 19.
You rolled a fucking 7.
Yep.
You have more in perception than Delmora.
He does.
Wow. He's
Passively.
basically become the
My
captain
passive
of
is
this group,
higher.
hasn't he?
Your passive is higher, yeah, but his is better for checks.
Straight roll.
Buckley, as you are keeping an eye out, you're watching the other camp. The fires have died down in it about, like, say, half an hour into your watch. It seems like whatever drunkardness that was occurring over on that side has dulled away. And after about, like, say, an hour or two into it, you do see, like, a figure from that camp has somewhat stumbling moved somewhat closer to yours, maybe about 50, 60 feet away from yours. And you can really only see the silhouette from here because you've got human eyes.
Right.
It's more like you can see the shadows move. And after, like, say, maybe 10 seconds of it looking, it moves away again and moves back towards the camp.
Okay.
There's nothing else that happens in your watch. So would you like to talk?
Oh, sir, you were saying earlier about a patron?
Yes. After all of our encounters with demons, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to need some other form of help, magic. But the magic that I gain from nature isn't enough. So I've contacted through the bow that we received back from Silla's forest, Old Fortune. It is possessed. I don't know if possessed is the correct word. It is inhabited by the spirit of a long dead hero, I believe, called Deldir. I don't know too much about him, but through him I've managed to contact the elven deity Corellin the Rethian, and he has taken me on as some sort of fighter or champion. I don't know how you'd put it, but he's granting me more power in exchange for dealing with this demon problem.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
So yeah, I'm hoping that he'll keep in contact with me as I do various things at the moment. Isn't it at the moment he just wants me to deal with the demon issue? That's like
Right.
the main thing at the moment, Das.
At present, the main thing he wants you concerned with is dealing with the fact that demons, fiends in general, have been rising up.
Hmm.
And he wants that issue dealt with.
So is he like wanting you to like go to another plane and just take like the entire, whole kind of architecture out, or?
No, he's not sending me on like any sort of crusade. It's more
Okay.
presence in the material plane. So I'm thinking, even though he didn't say it in exact words, but if I can deal with the problem that we encountered, do you remember on the boat with the beard devils that came out?
Yeah. As well
If I
as
can trace this back to here,
Festoon.
yeah, if I can trace them back to here and deal with them, maybe he'll give me an update on what's next, what he's got planned for me. I don't know. So I'm sure Deldir will forward on to me if I do anything that I shouldn't be. I've also been told I need to keep from purging the natural population of forests, so the game hunting is now strictly for food, warmth, and necessity.
So no, just like, oh hey, yeah, that's a nice head on the wall. No more of that.
Yeah, it's not really approved of.
That's price. That has to suck for you, man. I mean, now real quick though, like, is the your patron cool, like if stuff attacks you first, and then you kind of put the head up, or
I believe so. I think if it's the way of nature, then it's the way of nature. But it's more I need to be taking care of things that are a danger to both civilization and the natural world. Bullets, for example, that rampage through areas and just eat everything. That kind of thing.
Oh, so like he totally approves your nice bullet armor. Then.
Oh yeah, bullet armor, killing off of evil
The fucking
dragons. I'd imagine.
weasels of the medieval world, of the D&D world.
Yeah.
Just go into just go into a field, kill all the fucking birds in it and everything, and just leave the body.
Yeah, but if I go into a new area and say cull a large portion of the deer just to feed, a town, not good. So
it's more for your sake and the people close to you, more so for food.
Yeah. So as we keep on our travels, I'll be talking to Jonathan, Deldir, and just making sure that I'm doing what I can to help nature prosper and thrive.
I mean, I can probably even help you in some areas.
Any advice I will gladly take. I am growing and learning, becoming a man, a true hero.
I mean, I can actually cause areas to become, holy, and for fiends to not destroy and desecrate. I mean, most times it'll take me, 24 hours to kind of cast the spell at first, but then if I, continually go to the same area, day in, day out, casting the spell, I can literally make a holy land.
That's actually good to know, because we've been dealing with this contamination that these demons have been leaving. Obviously, we haven't got the time to go around hallowing land. If that's the correct way of pronouncing it. But it's definitely something that we could think of for Aftermath.
Yeah, because the one I'm looking at, like for it's the 5th level spell. You touch your foot and infuse an area around it with.
Yeah, I'm aware of the spell. I've read up on it. Yeah.
It's up to 60 foot radius.
So yeah, that's good to know. Between yourself and Othir, obviously, we can hopefully put a stop to them coming back. Fingers crossed.
When Othir gets to my level.
When Othir gets on my level.
But no, like seriously.
Wow.
Like, in terms of spell.
Alistair,
arcane.
You just feel from this like ginger little beard and head to hair, just from the other side wrapped up in a blanket. You just see this like eyes just peering out, and you just hear, "Fuck you."
I thought you were going to say he appears out of the campfire with an axe going, "Hi! Heard you talking shit about my god again."
Just with a right Irish, tune to it. Just, hey, how you doing? I can't do it.
He bursts out, "Top of the morning, ladies. My name is Othir. You're fucked."
Sharpening his axe by the fire.
And I just
Thor won't be pleased.
No, he's not for Thor. That would have been tempting.
And divine circles.
We all think of Othir as basically Simon.
Yeah, Othir is basically Simon for you guys. Why don't I have intimidation as one of those things? Because I just imagine him turning to a guard going, "Hi!" That would scare anyone.
But, yeah, so. It's definitely an idea to do.
Plan.
And, I mean, I could probably even, make an area which, would be nice for Fae to actually live in the material world. With a magic circle.
Sure about that. I don't know as much about Fae. I've not really looked into it. There were studies at school for better privileged children. I was not privy to that information. So maybe Del knows something about it. Who
My
knows?
extra long ears are burning.
Should probably stop sitting so close to the fire then.
Oh, well, I mean, the one that I actually was thinking of actually is for more of keeping them in an area, less than, having them an area to which they can rest and whatnot within the material.
Either way, the next time I attune and gain an audience with Corellian, or with Deldir in some sort of visual form, I'll try and remember to ask him about it.
He has a visual form? Your bow?
sometimes he appears to me as a kind of blue translucent silhouette.
Kind of like the stars, or?
Sort of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Alistair, on a rock next to you, he's just there. And it's more like a gaunt white than it is starlight.
And he's just like looking over at him, like, what are you looking at? You're kind of looking over. Nothing there.
I'm just
Probably.
thinking if you could break that rock.
I tried punching it.
Make a strength check.
Oh, and I assume I'm attuned to it at this point.
Yeah, you're attuned to it at this point.
14.
Whack!
It didn't break.
Kink! Your knuckle has dislocated. Your three knuckles have dislocated inward.
Oh.
Heal wound.
Yeah, you just go out. You do the Far Cry 3 of.
Yeah.
And there is just a crack in the rock, and to basically describe it, it's essentially between where their deer's legs would be.
As he's,
See,
I'm
we got
imagining
crack.
giving me that look. Well, you probably need to work him in a bit. Grunt can punch a hell of a lot stronger than that, so
Well, you know
we'll
what?
give it some time.
That's Grunt. God. And as
Also,
I move,
you haven't modified your strength. It's only a 6, not a.
but you said
you
it was
are-
23.
It's 23, which is a plus 7.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh no,
21
sorry, it
still
is a plus 6.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. It's when it got to
25
24, it's
is
plus
7.
7. My mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, no, never mind. You get plus 6. You get a plus 6.
I just give Deldir a sort of cheeky look.
I mean,
Just tap the edge of the bow and just say, okay, I think it's time for third watch. Let's get our heads back down. And I go over and gently wake Delmaro.
Knife! Knife!
I anticipate a knife, and I was using my foot. No,
Good way to lose a foot.
time for third watch.
Right, fine. I'll go wake up Shimmer then.
And you're with Shimmer on this one.
Yes. Anything happen?
Buckley never told me about what he saw, did he?
about what?
That's a definite no then. So I just sort of go, no, nothing to report.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Oh yeah, the drunkard. Yeah, I was like, oh okay, there's a drunk.
Wise as fuck. Sees everything, says nothing.
Hey, I'm wise. I'm not smart.
Well, shit.
I mean, out of 12, I mean, it's
So
a
you're
plus 1.
you're an information broker.
Yeah, you know, I get all this information, and then if somebody wants it, I could give it, maybe, for the right
Shimmer.
price.
I have had someone lose their divine powers for this shit.
I know. I mean, it's Murden, you know. He's fine with that, right?
Well, you haven't tried yet.
No, I'm not. No, I will tell Del before I go to sleep. Like, oh yeah, there was a drunk. That's about all I saw.
What? Wait,
You know,
what?
with my human eyes.
A drunk? What?
Specialize.
My man.
What? There was a drunk? What did they
There
do?
was a drunk over at the other camp. I walked out and then walked back in.
Okay. Good to
So I guess
know.
he was looking for a toilet or a bush or something.
Okay. I'll mention it to Shimmer.
Anyway, as I silently move to my bed, no clanging or anything.
Silent as a gnat.
Okay.
As you two go to sleep, excuse me, everyone. I have to take someone away.
Wasn't me.
It was Spook.
And he just starts screaming.
God damn it.
Oh
my
god. Very, very good, very good.
Yeah, like I wasn't even looking at the voice chat. It was just like, and I need to take somebody away.
Somebody's having a dream.
Oh, Spook is talking, but not speaking.
I honestly thought it was me for a second, because I'm like, I don't hear
Hello?
anything. What's going on?
Yeah.
I also thought it was me. I was like, silence? What?
Okay,
'Cause
I'm
I'm
gonna go
streaming,
grab food
Discord
while
doesn't make
he does.
noises when people.
Yeah.
Discord isn't making noises when people leave, so I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if it was or not. But yeah, this
Yeah,
is going well.
Game tea for everybody, you know.
Yep, shop at Game Tech.
Game tea! Fuck yeah!
But yeah, I am actually going to run and grab food because it is done. So I'll be back.
Well,
while
I
they're
think we're
doing
nearly
this.
done, Narian. It's getting late.
Yeah.
It's nearly 11 here.
Yeah, kind of figured. So you know, in 5 months we'll then go for this tune.
We're almost at the gates, guys. It's taken us
Yeah.
like two months to get to this town.
But yeah, I'm gonna go.
I think that road trip felt that way for some of the people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably did.
Well, I mean, it was brought up that we could, like, do this once a month, but...
I mean, thus far, that's what we've done. It's been a month since we last had a session.
Yeah.
Basically.
And that one time we did it one day after the other. 2 days in a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
Then we had those
That
other
only
times
happened
where we did
once,
it once
that's not-
weekly.
Yeah, it's just basically knowing when Spook has a Friday or Saturday or Sunday even.
We'll do it 3 times every day.
The funny thing was that for like 2 years, Spook couldn't do Saturdays. And then, like, the moment he got Saturdays off, Das was like, oh, I can't do Saturdays because I've
Yeah.
got other plans now. That's the joy of Dungeons and Dragons, being unable to get the party together.
Ah,
And us poor Americans are like, but we want to play!
Dice are being
Religion.
rolled!
Religion.
Religion?
power of religion.
He's learning something about Corellian. Possibly.
Or even his patron.
His patron
Or
is
that is
Corellian.
I meant what's the other face? Bow.
The bow itself. Possibly.
Because it was technically in some places a religious item.
Ah.
Because it was a hero upon which destroyed the orcs, and faced the orc champion.
Mm.
So some would think it should be religious. Maybe he has a following. No. Religion.
Do you actually
The
do
devil
that?
No.
'Cause that's
That was brilliant.
That's an excellent way to get a knife thrown at you.
It's just like, what the? Just a
Oh.
knife in the neck. Just.
There was some terrible things that Das told me. I don't know if you could tell.
From the screaming.
And the heart being pulled or whatever.
I can't wait to see that in
saying.
the,
It was pretty funny.
can't wait to see that in silence. Okay. Well, shit the bed.
Delmara, as you are now on watch, give me a perception check. With your unimpeded eyes in the darkness, you see, as you were mentioned before, you look out and keep an eye moving to that spot every now and again. You see a figure, with these bizarre ornate robes, with one side draped over the other, almost like some sort of robe or a coat kind of thing, that goes up around the neck. It seems to be stumbling about nearby. Like, say, maybe if you were 30 feet on your side of the road, this would be 20 feet to the other side of the road, about maybe 10 to 15 feet away from that side of the camp, like the very first carriage. And what you're noticing while you keep your eyes low, you keep your head low but your eyes high, is that he is watching you. And there's very clear intent that there is a feigned but clearly poorly attempted feigning of drunkardness.
Right.
But seems to be keeping an eye towards you guys.
I will stand so that Shimmer can see I've seen something. But I just stand there with my arms
Has anybody
folded.
woken up, Shimmer?
You've
Yeah,
probably
I
been
woke
woken
you
up.
up when the watch started, I said.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I just stand up with my arms folded.
Shimmer, as you watch Delmara do that and her eyes trained across in a position, you look across and you can see a figure is now lurching away towards their side of the camp. Far side.
That's the second time someone's come over to this camp.
Do they need to be dealt with?
No survivors.
Buckley whispers in his sleep.
No survivors. Kill them all. Blood for the blood god.
I don't want to cause problems here, but that person was rather poorly pretending to be drunk, and they weren't.
It's got nice robes.
Yeah.
That had a dark undertone to it. I
Ooh,
like
he
it.
has
want
robes. I want them.
I want it.
Let me touch your skin.
I want the ropes.
To be
Don't
fair,
like-
it's kind of.
I don't like the fact that somebody has been sent over to look at us twice.
Well, let's be honest here. We have a bunch of people that are toting around a bunch of magic items. Probably somebody wants to know something about it. And they're trading in magic items, so they think maybe we can steal some from them.
I'd like to see them try.
Oh, I would too. Terrible.
In any case, I think we need to be a bit more cautious tomorrow.
Seems like a good idea.
No, sit back down. And keep watch for the rest of the night.
I make some
Tamara.
hot cocoa.
Okay, you make your hot cocoa, Delmara. As you sit back down, the very position you were, you feel a bump. There's something that's been moved into that position. You pull up and you look, and come down to Demon Whispers.
Oh,
What?
So many whispers.
What is happening?
You recognize what's been left on the ground where you were sat. A whip. A very finely crafted leather whip with 3 prongs made of steel with a hook. You know this whip very well. It dragged across your back dozens of times. I'll move you back up.
Really bad tricksters, but they come out as lawful good.
Shimmer, as Del goes to sit down, she shuffles around in the dirt a little bit, and then she rockets back up again.
There's a snake.
And scrambles away.
I look at where she would have sat.
Shimmer, looking over to where she was sat down, not but 2 moments ago, there is a whip there. The whip is this long a leather strap, a very finely crafted handle, and it is a three-headed whip essentially that come out to these kind of steel studs, which then have a hook to the end of them. And Delmara has a look of fear in her eyes.
Fuck! Wish I was awake.
I drag it into the fire.
Okay, it doesn't burn.
Well, that's interesting.
The only thing that happens is that the hooks heat. Besides that, nothing burns. And that is where we're gonna leave the session.
No! It's a weapon by a nasty bastard. I don't like them.
Okay, well, now we're not going to find out what happens for like another month, so enjoy that.
See you in June, guys.
Bye, take care. We're going to end right there. No discussion. Take care. Love you loads.
I know what it is. It's a